buildings are mad expensive now. I guarantee you, when we leave out of here and the owner fixes this up, I guarantee you he'll rent this place for like $6,000.
Damn.
It is a size for certain businesses. He's gonna rent this place. He's gonna rent out for $6,000. Not six. If six is pushing it, 5,000.
Judah. Was Judah. Don't crowd me up, who gon' rouse me up? Alistair Crowley, your time is up. It's a big mess, I gotta clean it up. Esau the end of my kingdom's up. On the eagle's neck, I'll press. I woke up from my rest. I woke up from my arrest. My rulership is up next. No vex. Judah.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
We are the Hebrew Israelites at 85 South Braeswood. Class times are Monday and Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. On Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or whenever we finish. Virginia, we have sister classes also. Virginia's address is 2610 Granby Street, Norfolk, Virginia. 23517 address and zip code. Class times are Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And on Fridays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern on Fridays. They also have class on Saturdays also, but they're not online. Rochester also, you have to please call for that location because they're still setting up school over there, setting up shop. And the phone number is 757-762-3917. The class times are Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And on Fridays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Times. Also, we have a school in San Antonio. It's 4444 Walsham Road, Site 201. We have some businesses that we actually have, and one's called Israelwear and Sweet Ambiance. Israelwear is what we buy our clothes from, our attire from. So we have some real good clothes. You want a custom design, they can do it for you. No matter what you want, they can do it for you. And we have also Sweet Ambiance, where we also sell fragrance oils. Oils, not cologne, oils that actually come deep into your body, and as you sweat, the smell comes out more. They do not have alcohol in them. Okay, so we also have Hebrew Academy. Okay, Hebrew Academy is on Tuesdays here in Houston. In Rochester, there's every Monday, and Virginia is every Wednesday. We have a priest. You want to contact our priest? That's Priest Kazakia and Priest Quatazak. Priest Kazakia's number is 757-300-4047. And Priest Quatazak's number is 303-557-8979. Okay, we also, I don't know if I'm going too fast, but we also take donations. Whatever you want to give to the school, we need it. We are not a 501c3 where the churches get, allowances from the government. We take everything on our own through the businesses and through our brothers and sisters that help out through the school. So any donations you want to give, the donation should be, if it's not on the screen yet, the Wells Fargo account is 101-580-6167. Or you can contact one of the priests, and they can tell you when and where to send the merchandise or whatever you want to give. Okay, so
That's it.
that's basically the announcements. And
All right, so we'll go ahead and set up the morning prayers. Everybody, I imagine Mokonya Yerushalayim, meaning rise and face Jerusalem. Whew. Jeremiah, what that temperature look like? All right. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Hawa'ah. Dilanawa.
Award.
Zayawam.
The water. Aman.
Let's bless you, Yahweh, and then Yahweh Shai gives to us the light this day. Thanks. So be it. The light represents the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding we obtain through the scriptures. Matthew 5, verse 16 says, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father, which is in heaven.
All right. There we go. We got that fan working for nothing. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Hawa'ah. Dilanawa. Rayat. Ma'achad. The water. Aman.
Let's bless you, Yahweh, and name Yahweh Shai to get the sweet Savior. Thank you. So be it. The frankincense and myrrh represents our prayers going up to the Most High as sweet Savior. The scriptures say, let my prayer be set before thee as incense.
All right. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Hawa'ah. Dilanawa. Hashabat. Bashalom. The water. Aman.
Let's bless you, Yahweh, and name Yahweh Shai that gives to us a Sabbath in peace. Thank you. So be it.
All right, 1 second. 1 second. That's good. All right. Anashah. Oh, sorry. So this is Psalms. This is the Psalms chapter 121 in Hebrew. Of course, we'll say it in Hebrew, and then after saying it in Hebrew, we'll go ahead and translate it. Okay. Again, Psalms chapter 121. Anashah. Ayan Yam Yad. Al Haharium. 1 second, I'm sorry. Na'ayah. Yabawa'ah. Isaiah. Yabawa'ah. Yahweh. Sha'isha. Shemayim. Ba'aratazah. La'ah. Yanathan. Lamawat. Regalia. Yala'ah. Nawam. Shashawamar. Yashar Allah. Yahweh. Shemaria. Yahweh. Zazalia. Yam Yad. Hashamash. Yala'ah. Hakaya. Bayawam. Wala'ah. Alabana. Balayala. Yahweh. Yashamaria. Makol. Rai. Yashamar. Pashya. Yahweh. Yashamar. Hawalakia. Wabawa'aya. Ma'aitan. Aiwalam. Aman.
This is Psalms 121. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore.
Ba'ashem Yahushai. Shema Yashar Allah. Yahweh Echad. Shema Yashar Allah. Yahweh Allah Hayanawa. Yahweh Echad.
Let's hear Israel. Yahweh, our power. Yahweh is one.
All right, this is the Lord's Prayer. It can be found in Matthew chapter 6, verse 9. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Wadash. Hayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakwavka. Daba'ah. Batazaka. Hayah. Aisha. Ba'aratazah. Kawah. Hayah. Bashamayim.
Lacham, Yawam,
Wasalach Noah,
Wasalach Noah,
Kababath Noah,
Kababath Noah,
Kasalach Noah,
Kasalach Noah,
Kababath Yinawa,
Kababath Yinawa,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah, Tabianawa,
Banasaya 1,
Banasaya 1,
Abol,
Abol,
Hawashai
Hawashai
Noah,
Noah,
Mayan, Rai,
Kaya, Laka,
Hamalakwa,
Hamalakwa,
Wa'ala,
Wataparath,
Laiwalanium, Aman.
Aman.
This is the Lord's Prayer found in Matthew 6 and 9. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Aman.
Shara,
Matazawa,
The Ten Commandments.
La'ah, Yahaya,
Kaya,
Laka, Lahayim, Acharium, Alpanya,
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
La'ah,
Aisha,
Laka, Pasol, Wala'ah, La'ibadam,
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
La'ah, Lalakwakath, Sham,
Yahweh,
Lashawa,
Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain.
Zakar, Hayawat, Zakar, Hayawam,
Hashabat,
Honor thy father and thy mother.
La'ah, Ratazak,
Thou shalt not murder.
Dana'ah,
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
La'ah, Daganab,
Thou shalt not steal.
Daina,
Thou shalt not covet anything that is thy neighbor's. Bahashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
The water.
Tamyat,
Amen.
Aman. Yeshabim, which means be seated.
I think I can feel it a little. Oh, righty. Let's do it first. Let's go ahead. Let's do it real quick.
William Sabbath Reading, Run Yasserala.
William Shabbat Shah Yehoda Ben Allah Menavizra Amadi. Barak.
How about Simel Sabakathon?
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Alrighty. We're going to be starting in Numbers chapter 30 and verse 2. It is a little bit of a lengthy reading today. Numbers chapter, another Shabbat class. We'll be starting in Numbers chapter verse 2.
Numbers chapter 30, verse 2. And vow unto God, I swear an oath by his soul, bind. He shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth.
Nice. Man, what a way to start, huh? So the scripture is saying if you vow a vow, and back in the days, man, your vows meant a lot. Your vows meant a lot. Like today, nobody cares about a vow. You get married in the white man's custom, and you say all those vows till death do us part. Mm-hmm. What is it? In sickness and in health, rich or poor.
Yep.
Isn't like money like the number one reason for a divorce?
Yeah.
And sick and in health, and I don't know how that vow goes, but bruh, ain't nobody keeping that vow. Nobody in the world keeps a vow. Like, it's crazy, but back in the day, word was bond. Your word. And let's go to Ecclesiastes 5 and 5. Let's go here first. Ecclesiastes 5 and 5.
Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 5.
Hold on, before you read that, you see something. Is it Ecclesiastes 5 and 5?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Better is it that thou shouldest not vow,
You see that? It's better to not vow if you're not going to be able to not pay. But what's crazy is the world has trained us, man. The world literally trained us to. The world has literally trained us to not keep our word in anything. Or like, you got to think about it. People got to be like, man, I swear to God.
Yeah.
And when people say that, that's when you're like, oh, okay, I guess you're being for real.
Yep.
Right? Or people will be like, especially now, people will be like, on my mama.
Yeah.
On my daddy, on my child. Put it on something. Put it on something, right? Put it on something. A lot of gangbangers on blood.
On blood. Yeah.
On blood.
On Pyru.
On Crib. Like, why? Why is it that people have to say that now? Well, it's not that people have to say it, but why do people feel like they have to say that? Well, they feel like they have to say it because they know that now, in these times and in these days, your words don't mean nothing. Your vow don't mean nothing. So it's like you do have to back it up with something so people can know, yeah, it's for real.
Right.
Now check this out. Go to I'm gonna hit this from another angle. Go to Psalms chapter 66 and 14. The book of Psalms 66 and 14, because this right here is a good vow too, that a lot of people in the world be making. This Psalms. Read that.
Psalms chapter 66 and verse 14. Which my lips have uttered.
Go read 13.
I will go into thy house with burnt offerings.
You see that? So you're gonna go to the Most High and give the sacrifices to the Most High that He wants, right? Go ahead.
I will pay thee my vows.
You're gonna pay the Most High your vows. Check this out. Read.
Which my lips have uttered.
You're gonna pay the Most High your vows. You're gonna do the vows which your lips uttered. Read.
And my mouth has spoken.
And your mouth spoken. Read.
When I was in trouble.
When you was what?
I was in trouble.
You see that? So you know how like you be in the world, or people be in the world?
Yeah.
They about to get shot. Oh crap. Or you standing on trial by that judge. Like I was seeing something on YouTube where the judge, this was this guy in Florida, he broke his probation, 23-year-old Judite kid. And the judge was about to give him 60 years.
Wow.
Now he's 23. That means he ain't getting out of jail until 83. And the judge was like, you know what? I'm gonna overturn it. You're gonna walk free. But if you mess up again, you're gonna get these 60 years. That's crazy, right? But think about how he's thinking in his mind. He's probably like, man, God, if you get me out of this, just one last time, I promise that's it. I promise that's it if you get me out of this just one last time, man. I won't do it anymore. Lord, just get me out of this one. Back in the world, you lay with the wrong woman. She hits you with the I'm late. Yep. You like, Lord. No. Don't let it be true, Lord. You know what I'm saying? So you'll do all that. But guess what? In Psalms chapter, what we're reading in Psalms, Most High is going to require that vow. You see that? He's going to require that vow, man. Go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 18, verse 22.
Time.
You see that? Don't let nothing hinder you to pay your vow. Don't y'all hate being under this? Don't y'all hate being under? I know I hate being under vows.
Yeah.
Like I gotta borrow some money. All right, so I borrow $50 from you. Like, bro, I'm gonna try to pay that off as fast as I can. I hate having that over my head. I hate having that over my head, man. You know, it's the difference between a worldly vow and a spiritual vow. When you make a spiritual vow, it's dope having that over your head because you're trying to accomplish something for the Most High.
Right.
But when you make a worldly vow, like, yeah, man, don't worry, I'm gonna be there at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, I'm gonna be there.
Right.
And then life happens. You wake up late. Traffic, and you can't be there at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn. You know? But when you make a spiritual vow, it's dope. When you make a spiritual vow to the Most High, it's dope. Why? Because it gives you something to push for. You see what I'm saying? So let's jump back. Let's jump back to the scriptures. Jump back to the reading, I should say.
Numbers 30, verse 3. For woman also vow unto the Most High, bind herself by bond, being in her father's house, in her youth.
So now this is going to talk about a young woman that makes a vow and bounds herself to the Most High with a vow. Go ahead.
And her father hear her vow.
And she does it in her father's house, and her father heard about the vow. Go ahead.
And her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul.
Go ahead.
And her father shall hold his peace at her. Then all her vows shall stand. And every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand.
So if the father hears it, if the father hears her vow this vow and she lives in his house, that means that she's still under his rule, right? Then the father, her father, he can disannul that vow if he wants to. But right here, we're going to read about the disannul in verse 5. But right here in verse 4, if he chooses to hold his peace, then he obviously thinks that that's a vow that she can do. Or that's a vow that's good for her. That's a vow that's attainable unto her. So he'll make that stand. But read verse 5.
Verse 5. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth, not any of her vows, or her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand.
You see, but if the father disannuls it, that's it. If the father disannuls it in the day that he hears it, he rejects it, then that bond, that vow that she made doesn't count. Go ahead.
And the Most High shall forgive her.
Go ahead.
Because her father disallowed her.
You see that? Go ahead.
And if she had at all an husband when she vowed, or uttered out her lips wherewith she bound her soul,
go ahead,
and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. So
this is the same instance, but the only difference now is it's not the father, it's the husband.
Right.
Go ahead.
But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heareth, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect.
Go ahead.
And the Most High shall forgive her.
You see that? Now, go to, real quick, go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11. Man, we haven't touched this scripture in a while. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11, and you're going to read down verse 1.
Verse 1.
So, what we're seeing here about this vow is the Most High, he still has order. Most High has order in everything.
God.
You see that?
God.
So even if you want to make a vow to the Most High, listen, there's still order in that. So the order being, we're going to read it. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Be ye followers of me,
even
as I also am of Christ.
Go ahead.
Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things.
You see that? So in all things, you're supposed to remember the Most High and Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
And keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you.
You see that? So keep the ordinances. And I like this. This was Paul saying, in all things, keep the ordinances. Keep order in everything. Why? Because order is structure. You know what I'm saying? I always tell the story about how I put this dresser together, and I was just looking at it. And I was like, oh yeah, it's easy. I'm gonna put it together. Put the whole dresser together. And when I was done, I was like, damn, I did it without looking at the instructions. I didn't have no leftover parts, actually. But guess what? The dresser was upside down. So it wasn't until like I started using it, I'm like, man, I thought I put this together right. The doors like just wouldn't go in right. I mean, it worked, but the doors was always like up against each other. And I'm like, man, I thought I couldn't say, man, I thought I followed the instructions, because I didn't. I just looked at it and put it together.
Right.
But it wasn't until I was moving when I looked at all my other dressers, and I was like, wait, all the other dressers, this top part that's on this one is at the bottom. And I was like, damn, that's why. That's why. You see what I'm saying? What's up?
Well, I was going to say exactly what you're saying. If you look at Christianity from the outside, it looks like the right thing until you start to follow the instructions and read, and you realize that Christianity isn't the way to go.
Exactly.
Churches have it.
It's upside down like my dressing. It's upside down like my dressing, and it don't work right. You see what I'm saying? Doors don't close right. Your blessings don't come in right. You know, nothing comes in right. None of the blessings. Yeah, it's just not right. But, you know, I'm saying this because I'm going into this because a lot of us, we lack order. We lack order. Like, man, I promise. Look at your life and look at what's going on. Look at like certain things that's like out of whack, and then just pay attention to the order.
Right.
And they're more than likely there's something that disrupted the order.
That's right.
Or the order of the man, woman. You know, we haven't even gone into that yet. But read down. Let's go into it.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
Now, we understand that the head of every man is Christ. It's the Most High, Christ, then man. We understand that the Most High and Christ, they're not going to screw up. But as a man, we can screw up. You see what I'm saying? When you read back in Matthew's, what does it say in Matthew's? It says, if you want to spoil the man's house, you got to bind the man first.
Right.
So if the man is bind, then guess what? You can spoil his house. And everything that falls under that man is screwed. You see what I'm saying? Because the order of things, the man is not holding his order. He's not holding to his standard and to his duties. So he will be, when he gets spoiled, everything else gets spoiled. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like when you're putting together something. You ever had to put together something and you stripped a screw?
Yeah.
And it's like, crap, man, I stripped the screw. How am I going to get this out? Or you taking something apart and you weren't careful with the drill and you stripped that screw. And it's like, damn, I can't take this out. I can't do nothing now. You see what I'm saying? It's now there's a problem. There's a problem in this thing. So it's the same thing when you look at the order. If there's a problem, then a lot of times you just got to check the order of things and see what's going on. Go ahead, read down.
The head of the woman is the man.
This is the part that I wanted to get to. The head of the woman is the man. You see that? As a woman, you do have to have a head over you. You do have a man. You gotta have a man. You gotta have a man to be able to help you out. Not just protection, but be able to spiritually help you out.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? To be able to spiritually guide. Because there's some things let's keep it real. I mean, the scriptures say it. The Most High didn't impart wisdom in certain areas to the woman. You see what I'm saying? So, with that being said, you have to be protected. That man is your covering. He is your protection.
Right.
It's no different than us. Us as men, Yahweh Shai is our covering and our protection.
That is right.
If it wasn't for Yahweh Shai's word, let me move this real quick. If it wasn't for Yahweh Shai's word, us as men would be screwed. You see what I'm saying? So, as a woman, if it wasn't for your husband, if it wasn't for your father's word, you would be screwed as well. You see what I'm saying? Read down.
And the head of Christ, for this cause ought the woman to have power. Forgive me, read that again. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head.
You see that? Go ahead.
Because of the angels.
You see that? The woman was supposed to have power on her head because of the what?
Of the angels.
Of the angels. Go to Psalm 78 and 49. So the woman is supposed to have power on her head because of the angels, right? Now, the power that's supposed to be on her head is a father, is a husband. So now you can see why Esau made sure that the father is not in the house.
Yeah.
Or if the father's in the house, the father got some type of issue going on. Why? Because if the father isn't there, or he is there, but he's screwed up mentally, spiritually, then the woman is easy prey. The kids, easy prey. You see what I'm saying?
Con.
Now, when you look at a lion, when you look into like the wildlife and stuff like that, right? You look at a lion. The lion will have their whole pride, right? You will have the male lion. Sometimes you have 2 male lions. In rare instances, you have 3. So you'll have the male lion, right? That's the leader of the pride. You'll have all the women lion, and then you'll have the kids. Now, the male lion can take down hyenas. Unless it's like 10 to 20 hyenas, then you'll need 2 male lions. But it don't matter how many hyenas you bring forth. If there's 2 male lions, you can't get them. You can't get them. When you watch animals attack, like fight against other animals, especially like a lion, they always try to attack the lion from the back. And a lion, if you watch the lion, he'll always have his butt on the ground. Why? Because the other lions, like the hyenas and stuff like that, they'll try to bite off his genitals. And then he can't reproduce. Then once you do that, his lineage is done. You see what I'm saying? So the lion, they're always, from the back you can get them, but from the front you can't. So when 2 male lions show up, they have each other's back. And then you're screwed. So it don't matter how many hyenas you bring. But when you look at the lion pride, that woman lion, when 2 or 3 hyenas show up, she's screwed. She's literally screwed. She can probably handle 1, but when it's 2 or 3, she's screwed. So the male lion, he comes through, and if it's 3 hyenas, they're screwed. If it's 5 hyenas, they're screwed. They got to come with a gang to bring down the 1 male lion. You see what I'm saying? That female lion gets taken down, the kids get taken down. So it's almost the same concept when you look at it here. The woman has to have power over her head because yes, she's strong as hell, just like a female lion, right? But there's certain things that she's no competition for an angel.
She's not equipped for it.
Not equipped. So read Psalm 78 and 49.
Psalm chapter 78 verse 49.
Mm-hmm.
He casts upon them the fierceness of his anger.
Go ahead.
Wrath and indignation.
You see that? Wrath and indignation. Go ahead.
And trouble.
Uh-huh.
By sending evil angels among them.
By sending evil angels among them. Bruh, there's evil angels amongst us all the time. All the time. So read back in 1 Corinthians 11 and 10.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 10.
Uh-huh.
For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels.
Because of the angels. The evil angels at that. You see what I'm saying?
Come.
So, the results are the results. Quatzazop's been beating that in my head recently. The results are the results. There's no man, there's not really a male figure in the whole 12 tribes. So it don't matter where you're at. He's either not there, or if he's there, he's not really a man. Right. He's a male, but he's not a man. Wisdom makes you a man. God. So there's no male figures. There's no men to be there. There's no head to be there for kids coming up. A lot of us grew up without heads. Even if our father was there, we still grew up without heads. Why? Because our fathers can only do so much without this. Our mothers could do so much without this. You see what I'm saying? So we grew up screwed. And the results are the results. Think about our lives. Think about our kids' lives. The results are the results. So the scripture says that the woman is supposed to have power over her head because of the evil angels, which is a man. The power over her head is supposed to be that man. You see what I'm saying? Just like the man has Yahushua as his head. So that man now is supposed to be moving in the same way that Yahushua moved. Why? Because Yahushua moved the same way that the Father moved. You see that?
That's right.
And then that man was supposed to be able to lead the women in the same way. And then the kids will follow along perfectly. You see that? So now when you go back to the reading, and we're reading about these vows, now you can see why the husband or the father could veto a vow that a woman makes.
Right.
a vow that his daughter makes or that his wife makes. Because he can assess, she can assess, but his assessment is different. He can assess and be like, nah, now ain't the time. You see what I'm saying? There's an order to things. There's an order to things. So he can assess and be like, nah, you're not ready for that. You're vowing something that you can't, that you're not going to be able to fulfill.
Right.
You see that? So there's order to everything. So even in this law of vows, Most High is showing you that there's order. And I love what Thou One was bringing out last class. He was even bringing out like how when you look at when the Most High was gonna deal with somebody, he was speaking to Adam and Eve, right? He was talking about when the Most High was dealing, who did he go to first? He went to Adam first before he went to Eve. So even in that, there's what? There's order. There's order. So with that being said, ladies, sisters, daughters, women, you don't want to screw up. You don't want to mess up. Because guess who the Most High is going to go to first? Your husband, your father. That's who the check is going to go to first, to see if he's clear of the matter. Because if he's not clear of the matter, then it comes to you.
So true.
Or it's going to hit both. But the Most High, he's going to go to the man first all the time before he goes to the woman.
Yep.
And then
Numbers 30 verse 9.
But
Every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their souls, shall stand against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by bond with an oath, and her husband heard it and held his peace at her, and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand. And every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand.
time. So in verse 10, in verse 9, it says if she's a widow or she's divorced, then it's going to stand against her. You see that? She's a widow or she's divorced, it'll stand against her. But if she has a husband, then it's going to go through the husband, of course. Go ahead.
What does that mean when it stands against her?
Well, if she's a widow, she doesn't have a husband. She doesn't have a head. So then it's on her. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, she doesn't have a husband, so
She'll be held accountable.
yeah. Go ahead.
Verse 12. But if her husband had utterly made them void on the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceeded out of her lips concerning her vow or concerning the bond of her soul shall not stand. Her husband hath made them void. And the Most High shall forgive her.
Go ahead.
Every vow and every binding oath afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void.
You see that? So every vow, or every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. What does that sound like to y'all? What vow do you make to afflict your soul? A fast. So your husband can disannul your fast. You see that? Now, I like this verse 13. And I just picked this up. I like this verse 13 because it's showing you what your fast should be about. Your fast is about you afflicting your soul. You see that? That's what a fast is about. A fast isn't necessarily to, like I want to drop 10 pounds. I can't be like, I can, but I can't be like, Yahweh, I'm about to go on a 10-day fast, but my mind isn't necessarily to afflict my soul. It's because I want to drop 10 pounds. That's a carnal way of looking at it. You see what I'm saying? If you're trying to do a fast, then your fast has to be to afflict your soul. So guess what? If you work a job, like for instance, like we work on the trucks. We be moving and grooving. We trying to get done. We ain't thinking about food. So it's very easy for us to be on that truck and not eat the whole day. It's very easy. We can go 24 hours without eating. So for us, We can't be like, yeah, I'm a fast to stay to the Most High. That ain't really gonna afflict our soul. Why? Because we do that all the time. It's natural. You see what I'm saying? Now, if we really want to try to afflict our soul and push ourselves, then it'll be like, oh, okay, we're gonna be on this truck. We really want to get the Most High's attention and do a vow. Okay, let's do no food, no water then in this hot sun.
Yeah.
Which might not be the smart thing to do. You know, lifting the refrigerator upstairs, getting crushed.
I'm thankful.
You get crushed by the refrigerator on the stove. I mean, you get crushed by the refrigerator on the stairs.
Yeah.
And the person you delivered it to is trying to bring you some water. You're like, nah, I'm fasting. Fasting.
You good?
You know? So, no, you wanna, but you do wanna, you know, vow in a way where you can afflict your soul. So if you know you can go a whole day without eating, then that fast ain't really
gonna hurt you like that.
Yeah, it's not like you're really pushing yourself.
Right.
You're not putting yourself under anything. So you wanna like, if I can go a day without eating, let me try to push for 2 or 3.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I can go a day without water. Let me try to push for 2 or 3 days.
Right.
Let me really afflict my soul. Let me push myself. Where it's like, now I'm fasting and every second my stomach is growling and it's turning. My stomach feels like it's doing this. My stomach feels like it's doing all that. Right? You thirsty? Y'all ever went on a fast, man, and your lips? Ain't no water there.
Yep.
Like, ain't even no point in trying to swallow spit. Cause ain't no spit there. And like, you just got like this little white crust around your lip. You know, you dehydrated, then, you know, if you're that's pushing it. But you know, when you get like that, then it's like it becomes a real fight mentally now.
Right.
Where it's like, man, okay, I really got to put my flesh under subjection. Or it's like, okay, I'm not going to do it. Crusty lips, it's all good. You know, lips ripping, it's dry. Right. I'm going to keep pushing. That's really you afflicting your soul. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's showing you why we do it in verse 13. You're binding yourself for the Most High. Read verse 13 again.
Nice. Like that.
Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void.
You see that? So you're making this vow to bind your soul, to afflict your soul. Now think about it. You want the Most High to show some type of favor. You want to catch His attention. You afflicting your soul. You afflicting your flesh, right?
Right.
When you want to catch the Most High's attention, it's showing you. It's showing you what you got to do. You got to put yourself through something, man. You really got to afflict yourself. A lot of us are so used to living comfortably.
Yep.
Especially here in America. You can eat whatever you want. Eat whenever you want. You see what I'm saying? We're comfortable. The Most High is about uncomfortability. He's about uncomfortability, so when you afflict your soul, it's showing you what you're doing. You're making yourself uncomfortable.
That's right.
Now, you know, when you make yourself uncomfortable for the Most High, it's a beautiful thing. Because, like I said, this life is about making yourself uncomfortable. But who are you making yourself uncomfortable for? Your people. You're making yourself uncomfortable for your people. You see that? So that's what the Most High is about. He's about sacrifice. He's about you giving up for your people and having strength over your soul, man. You see that? Having strength over your flesh.
Right.
You know, I think about it like Yahweh Shai. You look at men like Yahweh Shai. You look at men like Moses, David. Like, these cats had power over their flesh and over their soul.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, we know David slipped, Moses slipped. But just think about having power over your flesh. It's funny that we're even going over this, man. I thought about myself last night. I ate once the whole day, right? It was nighttime. I wasn't even hungry. But I was like, I'm going to go make me a bowl of cereal, whatever, right? But I was in the midst of making the cereal. I was like, damn, I'm not even hungry. You know what I'm saying? But so I was like, why am I making this cereal? Why am I making this cereal? I'm not hungry. I was just walking downstairs and I see the Reese's Puff cereal. That was my second time ever having it. That Jeremiah left at my house. I didn't realize it was so damn good. So I'm not even hungry, and I see the cereal. I'm like, you know what? I'm definitely gonna slap some of that.
Right.
So I look at it, and I'm like, while I'm pouring it, and I'm like, wait, why am I doing this?
Right.
I'm not hungry. So I realized, like, damn, I'm pouring this literally because the flesh, the eyes saw it. The mouth was like, hell yeah, right? And I looked at it, and I'm like, that split second, I'm like, I walked downstairs. It's funny because my books was downstairs. I'm going downstairs to get my books. So my mind is like, okay, I'm about to get my books, about to go into my closet and study, right? And walk past and just, bam, Reese's. I'm like, okay, Reese's. And I just go there and I get the Reese's. But I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about it like, damn, like, the flesh. And like just little instances the flesh can just pull you. You know what I'm saying? Not even big instances. We know it can get you in big instances too, but little instances, the flesh can just pull you. Now imagine you having power literally over your flesh and your spirit where like nothing pulls you. Where you literally have 100% complete control of your mind, where your mind isn't wandering. Your mind don't be just bouncing like a pinball everywhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Something come on TV, oh, I want that. Something pop up on your phone, oh, I want that. You walk by, you smell something, oh, I want that. Like, it's all senses. It's all senses. It's all the flesh. You see something, you're like, man, I like that. I like them rims. I want them rims now. So the money you got saved, now you went and bought some rims. Right? You smell something. Damn, I want that. You wasn't even hungry. You wasn't even hungry. When you drove past that taco truck and smelled those tacos, you drove past wherever and smelled whatever I should say, and now you want that. But imagine, man, your mind, like having like just this strength and this power over your mind, where like nothing sways you, nothing sways you ever, and then like the scriptures just always there. Meditating on the Most High is always there, to where it's like certain things happen and you're like, oh, okay, I see why the Most High did that. I see why he said that.
Right.
Like the scripture says, wisdom is double. Wisdom is double to the Most High's wisdom is always double. So it's like we can sit here and we can read about the vows, right? Like verse 13, for instance. Her husband can disannul her vow. We can read it and we can think and we can read it and see it and be like, okay, her husband can disannul her vow because of she may not be ready for it, the order, all that, right?
Right.
But then there's always the double side to that, to why he can do that. And that's where meditation comes in, where you'll sit there and you'll meditate on why the husband can disannul it. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
But imagine your mind always operating like that, just on the Most High's word. That's beautiful. Sis?
So, are you saying like if a sister or wife wants to do a vow and it's a fast, and the husband says no, can't do that vow, that fast, then, I mean, if it's about afflicting her flesh, how does he say, I mean, I get that he
How can he say no?
Yeah, I get that he can discern better than she can, because he knows her spirit probably better than she does.
Yeah.
But if it's about the vow, and that's between her and the Most High, why would her husband like say no?
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't have to say no. You see what I'm saying? So if everything lines up, what it's showing you is that everything has to be ran through the husband. The first thing is establishing this order. So now if it's running through the husband can, especially if it's verse 13, you're trying to vow to afflict your soul, to humble yourself before the Most High. Right? More than likely, what is your husband going to say? Khan.
Yeah.
Khan.
He's going to say Khan. But if he wanted to say no, he can say no. You see what I'm saying? If the husband, like for example, right? Go to Ecclesiastes real quick. Check this out. Go to Ecclesiastes. Oh man, it didn't pop up. Where it says toucheth the dead body again. Toucheth the dead body. Like you fast and then you go back and touch the dead body again. What is it? Man, sword sharp.
Yeah.
Khan. Ecclesiastes 34, verse 25.
Ecclesiastes chapter 34, verse 25.
So go. Yeah, go ahead.
He that washeth himself after the touching of a dead body,
Go ahead.
if he toucheth it again,
Uh-huh.
what availeth is washing?
So if you wash yourself, then you go and you touch a dead body, what you're washing doesn't mean anything. It's like you're in the truth all these years, and then you're like, you've been getting washed, because when you're in the truth, it's a never-ending process of being washed. Like you don't just hop in the tub, then hop out, and then you're clean for good. When you're in the truth, it's a constant, everyday washing. Every hour, every situation, every moment, every circumstance. It's a constant washing of this of your soul, right? So if you go back, then all those washings meant nothing. Just like here, like you wash yourself, you go touch a dead body. That washing don't mean nothing. Go ahead.
So is it with the man that fasted for his sins,
Go ahead.
and goeth again,
Uh-huh.
and doeth the same,
Go ahead.
who will hear his prayer?
Uh-huh.
Or what doeth his humbling profit him?
So when you look at this, right, when it said that the fasting, you fast and you go back and you do the same sins again, your fasting didn't mean anything.
Yep.
So when you look at verse 13, when it's talking about afflicting your soul, so it's talking about you fasting, right? You abstaining from something. The husband, think about it, the husband can disannul it if he knows that you're going to go back and touch a dead body because you're not strong enough yet.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because some things, it's like I have, not me per se, but say I have an addiction to liquor, right? An addiction, certain things is not like a flip of a switch. Some things is a flip of the switch, you know, but some things are not. Some things is going to require you to fight. So sometimes when you fighting, sometimes you're fighting, you come into the truth, you're like, oh man, we're not supposed to smoke cigarettes. You'll vow right there like, man, I'm never smoking cigarettes again.
Yep.
But that was just you being in the truth and you being all happy and you being around and, you know, the cheerleading squad and all that, and it makes you make certain vows and makes you say certain things, but then when all that is said and done, and you go home and now you're in the midst of the battle, you might go and smoke a cigarette because that's what you've been battling, even though you were in class and you was like, man, I'm never doing that again. You see what I'm saying? And now it's like, well, that vow meant nothing. So a lot of the times, you'll be battling something, right? And you're fasting from it. You're battling something, some spiritual defect that's deep rooted in you, anger, lust. Some people can't let go of the past. So it's like, you always talk about the past and bring up the past. And then it's like, you're like, you know what? I promise I'm not going to bring up the past again, right? But then you do. Then it's like the vows, this and all. So when you look at this fasting, you can fast from something, but then just because you fasted from it don't mean you're not going to do it again. So when you look at verse 13, and she said she's going to bind her soul with this fast, the husband can disannul it if the husband is like, you know what? I know you. I know you. I know that your heart and your mind is in a good place, but you're not ready. You're not ready to, you still have work. You still have a lot of things to put off before you can get to that level.
Right.
To where you can now say to the Most High, listen, I'm going to fast. I'm going to go on this like 10-day fast from drinking, and I'm never going to drink again. The husband might be like, nah, that's not good. You see what I'm saying? You might end up screwing yourself. So when you look at it like that in this instance, when it said you're going to fast, verse 26, so is it with a man that fasted for his sins and goeth again and doeth the same, who will hear his prayer, or what does his humbling profit him? It's showing you like it ain't gonna profit nothing. So the husband, he's just trying to avoid that. If he's in the spirit and he's like, nah, you're not gonna make that vow. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, let's jump back to the reading. Was that good? That was clear? Okay.
Numbers chapter 30, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And if her husband altogether hold his peace at her from day to day,
Uh-huh.
then he established all her vows,
Mm-hmm.
or all her bonds,
Yeah.
which are upon her.
Mm-hmm.
He confirmed them, because he held his peace at her in the day that he heard them.
And you know why this is dope? This is showing you another level of husbandry. For us being husbands, when you talk to your rib, it's not no surface level like, man, so what happened on what's that TV show that a lot of women like watching for some reason?
The Housewives.
Not the Housewives. They're like solving cases.
Law and Order.
Law and Order. No, come on, be like, so what happened on? Oh, see, gave her away, huh? So it's not gonna be like, oh yeah, he comes home. So man, so what happened on Law and Order today? You know, he's gonna dig like, hey, you prayed to the Most High. What did you pray? What did you ask for? It's like certain things,
Right.
certain diggings, because now you're able to see, okay, did you bind yourself with any vows? What did you do? You know what I'm saying? Let me get like every detail of what you did. That way, I can know if what's happening in my house. Because if the house starts to crumble, then what did you allow in it? What happened? Did your rib vow and you didn't know? Did she vow just subconsciously and you didn't know? And now like the Most High is holding her to that. And she's a part of your house, so it's like you're joined to her, so you're being held to that too. You're gonna catch whatever blow is going to her. You see what I'm saying? Vice versa, just like you'll catch any blessing that goes to her. So it's showing you another level of husbandry too, where you gotta know like, okay, what is going on with your rib's mind towards the Most High? How is she feeling? How is she thinking towards the Most High? Sis in the back.
I'm a widow,
Mm-hmm.
and when my husband died, did that void the vows, or am I still bound to that?
So when you look at, you are a widow, right? So when you look at your instance, yes, it definitely voided the husband, right? But you still have a strong man there in the house. You still have an extremely strong man there in the house, which is S.O.W. So now, even though it doesn't say about the son, it still goes to S.O.W. You see what I'm saying? And this is how you can tell. Whenever you went to, who was it that went to get a wife? And when they were communing about getting a wife, they went to her brother.
Oh.
Was that Jacob?
No. Isaac.
That was Isaac, right?
Yeah.
So
That was the servant that Abraham had sent.
So it went to the brother.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It was the father and the brother that was discussing.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't the wife. It wasn't the mother. It was the father and the brother that discussed.
Right.
So the brother, he could veto for the sister.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So it's whatever man that's in that house, of course, God-fearing man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if it's a God-fearing man, that's your cover. So like when you look at the strong brother that's in your house, and I'll say it real quick so everybody can hear online. The sister asked, she's a widow, her husband passed, a very strong husband at that too. Her husband passed, and does that disannul her vows, all her vows and stuff like that because the husband passed? And the husband isn't there. So yeah, certain things will be disannulled, but there's still a strong man in that house. That strong man being Dahawam. So now everything will flow through Dahawam because he's the strong man in the house. You see what I'm saying? So and then he's close kin as well. You see what I'm saying? So Dahawam, close kin, everything is gonna flow through him. Why? Because Dahawam is now the covering for everybody that's in that house.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's just like me. Like I can go to my parents' house, my father is there, right? Like say I was still living with my parents. My father is there. Yeah, he's technically the covering, but I'm a covering too. And yes, the order of things is to everything. Of course, I'm gonna follow in that order. Everything is gonna flow through my father, but I'm the covering. Why? Because I have more wisdom. I have more knowledge. I have more things. A lot of things is naturally gonna flow through me, especially if it's spiritual. It will flow through me, even though he's my father. You see what I'm saying? So that's what makes you a covering too. Just because you're a man, it don't mean that you're all of a sudden just a covering. Like Lil Wayne is not going to be a covering. You see what I'm saying? When technically he should be. His works and his actions is going to show you that he's not a covering. Why? Because evil angels and spirits is just coming through and running ravish through the house. You see what I'm saying? So your works and your words is going to show if you're a great covering, that's going to shelter the rain, that's going to shelter the hail, that's going to shelter the storm, or if you're a covering that got a whole bunch of holes where the wind can just blow the top off, where the hail is just going to come right through and everything is just going to get wet. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, so like if you look at like, for instance, like my house, if I was to go back to my dad's house, he's a covering that's over me. But everything will come through his covering. But then my covering will protect. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at like to answer your question, yeah, Dahawam, he's the covering.
And that much I knew,
Yeah.
I think when you're going through the emotions, your love and passing, like, okay, this bound to him forever, throughout eternity, whatever,
Yeah.
And that's an emotional response, but I just wanted to know as far as scriptures.
Yeah.
Am I still alive? Gives me promise scripture,
Yeah.
and so that's all I wanted to share.
So if you promised, if you made certain promises and he passed, then, you still want to keep that. Just think about it. Yahweh Shai, we made certain promises in Yahweh Shai. He's not here. So, you would want to keep that too, So, and I'll say this too, if you are a widow and you don't have a male figure in the house, then a strong male figure at that too, then always remember Yahweh Shai is now your covering. So you're always covered no matter what.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. So the same way you'll respect the man in the house, whoever it is the same way. Like you'll still carry yourself with that respect factor. Why? Because Yahweh Shai is your covering. So you have a man that doesn't live up to the standard. Well, Yahweh Shai is your covering. You see what I'm saying? As long as let's get back to the reading.
Numbers 30, verse 15. But if he shall in any ways make the void, after that he had heard them, then he shall bear in her iniquity. These are the statutes which the Most High commanded Moses, between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's house.
Y'all see that a whole chapter. This whole chapter 30 was about vows. You see what I'm saying? Of vows that a woman will make and how it can be disannulled. It's beautiful, man. Listen, man, it's like Kazaki was saying yesterday in class. Most High left no stone unturned.
Yep.
You know, you can find everything about life in the scriptures, and that's the beautiful part, man. That's the beautiful part. Like I can't wait till we're back in our kingdom and everything is just flowing. It's like you got a question? Oh man, you got a question? It's here. It's here somewhere. It's here somewhere, and we gonna find it. You know what I'm saying? And bring it out. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful to see that we can live by. Because come on, man, think about it. Ain't nobody thinking in the world. You weren't thinking about like that. In the world, you didn't care about a vow. You didn't care. That's why, like I said, like the divorce rates is high as hell because people don't care about vows like how they make it, like how they try to make it seem. Nobody cared. Come on, man. People will straight up lie to you and say, I swear to God, bro. Yeah. I swear to God, I didn't do it. Like, you know damn well you did. You know what I'm saying? People don't care about their words. People don't care about their vows in the world. Yeah. Well, we're coming back. We're coming back to that. What's up?
I was gonna say, I saw this interesting video about this brother. He was going back and forth with this girl about marriage vows. And she said something about, why should I stay if I'm not happy? And he said, the vows don't say nothing about happiness. Yeah. I had to think about that for a minute.
Dang. All right. See that? But then on, just on that too, just on that, to give like balance on that, right? Go to 1 Corinthians real quick. Because we can't just leave it like that, right? Because in a marriage, if I can find it, in a marriage when the Most High joins us together, He's not joining us together for one person to be unhappy, right? They're both supposed to be happy, but of course to a certain extent. Where does it say? It's Corinthians. Do benevolence.
73. Let her husband benevolence. And likewise also the wife unto the husband.
Do benevolence. Now when you look at do benevolence, that's not just sex. Do benevolence is anything good. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So like when it says let the husband render unto the wife, do benevolence, let the husband render unto the wife, good. Let the wife render unto the husband, good. It's not just sex. So let me render unto, if I'm a husband, let me render unto the wife things that's going to make you happy. As long as it's in the realm of the scriptures. You see what I'm saying? As long as it's in the realm of the order and what the Most High wants, my job as a husband is to make sure that I'm rendering to making her happy. The wife is not supposed to be walking around your house miserable. If you're doing what the Most High wants you to do as a man, yeah, like there's certain things you could do to, like, come on, a lot of times brothers come into the truth and we forget that we were max in the world. Like you forget that it's like you lost your whole instinct. Sorry, I'm gonna do a class on this. But what did it say that Abraham was doing? Remember when that king found out that Abraham, what was he doing? But what was the word in the scriptures that it used? When the king of Egypt was like, oh yeah, surely that's your wife.
Sporting.
They were what?
Sporting.
Now, what do Israelite men like to call themselves in the world when it comes to women? Think about sports. If I play a sport, what am I?
Player.
A player. You're a player. Abraham was a what? A player. Not in the instance of what the world makes you feel. Not in the instance of how like the world makes you feel like what a player is. But it said that he was sporting with his wife. He was a player. Women like that. Let's keep it real. Women like that. That's why players can be players and have lots of women. Why? Because they know how to play a woman. They know how to sport with a woman. They know how to offer that due benevolence to a woman. They know what she likes. A lot of times we come into the truth and we act like we can't be that with our women no more. Right. Like, oh yeah, all that's dead. Israelite, strong man, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Right.
Extra tough. Extra tough.
Right.
Extra hard
No,
shell.
like, yes, you are that.
Uh-huh.
You very much are that, but you can still give your wife due benevolence. Meaning what? You can still have fun.
Right.
Listen, brothers, you get cool points. And when I say cool points, I mean like now, like she's more happy to serve you. Why? Because it's not like this servitude is just a job. I'm just doing this because the scriptures say so.
Under constraint.
Under constraint. Nah, it's like I genuinely like doing this. I genuinely like him.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely like him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It should be that on both sides. So, yeah, like with what you were saying, with what you were bringing out, like the scriptures, you were saying, yes, the vows doesn't say nothing about a woman being happy, right, with this man. But you got to think about like the scriptures. That's why we went through a betrothal period.
Mm-hmm.
So during this betrothal period, you could see if this woman or this man was going to be compatible for.
Right.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
No, but his point was that most women today will put their happiness above their vows, whether
Yeah.
you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing.
Oh yeah.
It's all about their happiness.
Yeah, women now in this world is trash. But it's no difference. The men is trash too.
Yeah.
The men are trash, the women are trash. Bruh, come on, man. Now look at it. Look at it like women in this world don't care about nothing but money.
Yeah.
But why is that? Because men in this world don't give a damn about nothing but money.
Yep.
So when the money goes, she goes. The rappers say it all the time.
Right.
Rappers say it all the time. I actually heard a rapper say, you know what? She's ugly. Like, he's talking about his girl that's right there with him. He's like, she ugly as hell, but she fine as hell. Moneybag Yo. Look him up. It's like she's ugly as hell, and then you know what he said right after that? If it wasn't for the money, she wouldn't be here. Like, he's literally putting this in his music. She's right there. Like, yeah, nigga, you know that shit true. You better keep getting it. But it's true, like, how many people you know, like, he lost his job. He lost his business. And the relationship just did a nosedive. Why? Because the relationship wasn't built on nothing but carnality.
Time.
Wasn't built on nothing but carnality. It wasn't built on nothing but money.
God, you see it in movies all the time too.
Yeah.
And then lose the job, the woman burns out.
Yep.
You know, so it's plugging it into their heads.
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah, like that now the figure is gone. The figure for him and her is gone. And now it's a problem. Why? Because the relationship was never built off of love. It was built off of carnality.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's obvious that looks is gonna fade.
Yep.
Who stays the same? Nobody. So that's gonna happen. So if your relationship is built off of that, it's gonna fade. It's gonna fade. So yeah, man, relationships in these world, in the world right now is completely trash.
Yeah.
But as men, and I am gonna do a class on this. As men, one thing that I see a lot with Israelites is an Israelite man will be a player in the world, but then come into the truth and act like he don't know how to be a player no more. And when I say a player, I'm not talking about the worldly aspect of a player, like you're just knocking down every chick. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the way a player moves to get a woman. Women like that. A lot of men, like, we come into the truth and we forget that women like that. So your woman, she's in the truth, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. The scripture said that Abraham was sporting with his wife Isaac. Sport with your wife. When you play sports, you're a player. Like, sport with your wife, man. Like, this world is already screwed up as it is. It's already messed up. You should be able to come home and be comfortable and be happy with the wife of your bosom, like the scripture says. You see what I'm saying? Likewise, she should be able to be happy with you. So what does that mean? Go out on a date sometime. I'm not telling nobody to simp. Don't simp, because you do have Israelites that simp all the way. There's unbalancedness in Israel. You have Israelites that simp all day. I'm not doing nothing for the Most High, but guess what? We going out on a date.
Right.
She hasn't done nothing to deserve a date, but guess what? We going out on a date again. Nah, I can't go street speaking. We got to go out on a date again.
No.
You see what I'm saying? Like, what I'm saying is to have that balance.
Right.
Because there are some that just don't do it at all. Go take her out on a date. Yes, we're men. We don't like to spend money. I get it.
Yeah.
I hate tipping. I hate going to a restaurant, sitting, waiting 15, 20 minutes for some food. I hate doing that. Then I hate tipping for some food that I might not like. I hate paying for my drink. I hate paying $3 for my drink when I could buy a whole can. I could buy a whole bottle of it. I hate doing that.
Yeah.
I hate it, but you have to do it, man. Brothers, take your ribs out on a date sometimes. If you haven't been doing it, do it every once in a while, man. Offer to do benevolence. Pay the $15 tip. Pay it. You know what I'm saying? Like, go for a walk in the park. You know what I'm saying? Hold her hand. Don't simp. I'm not saying to simp. They like that. Do it. Make them happy. That's the stuff that you have to do to make a woman happy. They like that little stuff. So do it to make them happy, because guess what? They got to do a lot of stuff for us that they don't like to make us happy. So it's a two-way street. You see what I'm saying? And offer that balance. You'll get, because guess what? When you do that, now when you check her, it's like, this dude is just an asshole.
Right.
Like, now when you check her, it's like, yeah, I'm not always this brute beast like how you feel.
Right.
We go out on dates. What are you talking about?
Right.
I give you attention. What are you talking about?
Spend time, yeah.
So now you're going to catch this Bible. You're going to catch this. Sit down. Get your Bible. Catch this. Go here. 1 Peter 3. Eat that. Eat that. Here's the tip, too. Go out on movies. No, I'm being for real. I'm being for real. There's no reason why, like, being in the truth now and us being men and having wisdom, there's no reason why a woman should be able to say, like, damn, like, I enjoyed my relationship in the world more than I enjoy my relationship being in the truth with this man. That's bull. That is bull. That is BS.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And I get it. We're so busy, especially us here. We're so busy that we can't always do stuff like that. But whenever the opportunity presents itself, like, yeah, you got to do it. I can't tell you how many times I told my rep, like, yeah, Saturday night, we can go out to eat. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Right? And then we go street speaking, and I come home, and I'm dead tired.
Yep.
She's like, so we still going out to eat? And I'm like, crap. I don't even remember that.
Yep.
I don't even, like, I said that? I said that. But I'm stinky. It's hot. You know, but I'll still do it. Not all the time. I can't. I'm not going to front. But I still try to do it. Why? Because I'm going to tell you something that what did you say? About a vow. But I'm going to tell you something that Shamshuan had said a long time ago. It always stuck with me. Shamshuan had said that for the Israelite man, a lot of times we go to work, and then when we come home, we forget that we still got to work. So you go to work, you do your little 9 to 5 at the Edomite job, and you come home and you forget that you still have work to do with your family. So yeah, I can go and put in overtime for the Most High. When I come home, I still have work to do with my family. You see what I'm saying? As an Israelite man, I do have to do these things. Like, I got 2 kids, 2 daughters. I gotta take them to the park sometimes. Dawiyad told me that. You'll see Dawiyad on the chat. I'll call him. I used to call him back. He'll be like, what you doing? I'll be like, I'm at the park with my daughters. He'll be like, guess what? They're gonna appreciate that when they get older. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, as busy as we are as men, it's like, yeah, you do have to make time for certain things. To be a father, to be a husband. You do have to offer that due benevolence. But guess what? I do got to take the kids to the park. Even though I'm dead tired. It's my job. See what I'm saying? It's my job. So as a husband, it is your job to offer due benevolence. If you're trying to fight to do good for the Most High and the truth, and your wife is trying to fight to do good for the Most High and the truth, y'all got to offer each other due benevolence, because who else is going to do it other than brothers and sisters? Like, I don't expect a brother can take me out to eat, but certain things, like as a man, like, come home from work, like, you need a back rub, like, you might need a massage. I'm not about to ask you to massage my back. It's not happening. I know you got me, but I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? That's where the wife comes into play. Like, I need a back massage. I'm not trying to go see one of these Asians. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right. I'm not. So that's when the wife comes into play, and it's the same. Like, it's the same with the woman. Like, who else is going like romantic little candlelight and stuff like that? I don't understand why y'all like that, but I just know y'all like that, so I'll do it. I'll do it for the wife. I'll go out, because who else is going to do it for her? So as men, who else is going to do it? Do it for your wife. Like right now, like in Houston, like in the intersections, you'll see Issachar selling the flowers. Yeah. I'll go ahead and spend that $10. Well, it was $20. I went ahead and spent the $20 and I bought some flowers, brought it home. Why do you like flowers that's going to die in a week? I don't know. But here, Bruno Mars, you can never say Bruno Mars song. I actually bought you flowers. Like, you can never say that. Yeah. You can never say I never bought you flowers. Yes, I'm an Israelite man that'll check the hell out of you and make you get your Bible. But you can't say I never bought you flowers. Why do you like flowers? I don't know. Why do I have to waste my $20 on this? I don't know. Gas money. That's gas money. But you like it, so I'm going to get it for you. Come on. Valentine's Day. We don't celebrate that no more. But I know you like chocolate with a heart. So yeah, I might buy you a box of chocolate with a heart. Eat a couple of it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Buy you a little teddy bear, whatever. You can never say that side. Remember, as men, 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 on down. We're supposed to be blameless. You don't want to let your wife be able to blame you for nothing. Right. Like when you sit her down and you start checking her and she likes to deflect or switch the subject, you be like, well, she likes to deflect something back to you as men, talking to the brothers now. She can't be like, well, you don't do this. She can blame you for something. Be like, nope, I do that. Nope, I do that. I'm not perfect, but I do that. Yeah. We don't go out to eat no more. Yeah, well, we did.
Last week?
We did. Last month. We did last month. You see that?
God.
So you're going to catch these Bibles. You're going to catch the scripture. You see that? But Tazapah posted a good scripture. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. Right. You see that? And that's true. Very true. So if your husband can't do everything that I'm saying, that I just said, then you got to be silent. Be silent. Understand that your husband is busy. There isn't no time for that. You see what I'm saying? Understand that, yes, he is tired. Understand that, yes, there is no money. You see what I'm saying? Understand. But do understand, we do, as husbands and wives, we do have to give due benevolence. You see what I'm saying? You do have to do little things to make her happy. Do little things to make your wives happy. Don't Yahushua do things to make us happy? So we got to do the same, man. Do benevolence. It's not just sex. So again, there's no reason why a woman should come into the truth and be like, man, like my relationship. And then let me say this too: if she in order, then she get her happiness. You see that? If she's in order, I'm glad you pointed that out too, Tazapah. If she's in order, then guess what? Because I'm not gonna take no animal out to go eat. Nah. Like you're not in order. Like I don't want to go out to eat with you. You get nothing. You get what David did to Israel. Like when Saul's daughter mouthed off, you get the David treatment. Bye. When the concubines did what they did, lay with Absalom, you get the David treatment. Nothing. You get nothing. You see that? That's what you get. But when you're a silent woman, when you're Ecclesiastes 26 and 14, then guess what? I'm tired as hell from street speaking, but you putting in work for the Most High too. You put it, the garments that I wore to street speaking, you made that with a happy spirit. You were in Sabbath class doing cameras, you was doing all these things, you were doing what you were supposed to do, then guess what? Yes. I'm going to make time for you. I'm going to make time. I'm going to make time. I'm going to spend a little $20 on some flowers for you. Why? Because you're putting in. You're putting in for the Most High. You see what I'm saying? So, yes, let me make that clear. You're not just going to do it for some ratchet animal. You're not going to do it for a woman that's not walking. The scripture says, can two walk together unless they be agreed. So, if you don't agree with the Most High, if you don't agree with me, then I'm sorry. I only want to be around you. I'm not going to do that. You see what I'm saying? So, brothers, if you do have a woman that's putting in for the Most High, and she's silent, you come home and it's happiness and all that, then yeah, treat your woman right. Treat your woman right. Let's get back to reading. I know we went off. I know we went off.
Numbers chapter 31. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites.
Go ahead.
Afterward shalt thou be gathered unto thy people. And Moses spoke unto the people, saying, arm some of yourselves unto war, and let them go against the Midianites, and avenge the Most High of Midian. Of every tribe 1,000, throughout all the tribes of Israel shall ye send to war. So there were delivered out of 1,000 of Israel, 1,000 of every tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Moses sent them to the war, 1,000 of every tribe, them and Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, to the war with the holy instruments, and the trumpets to blow in his hand.
Go ahead.
And they warred against the Midianites. And the Most High commanded Moses. They slew all the males, and they slew the kings of Midian, beside the rest of them that were slain, namely Evi, and Rakim, and Zur, and Hur, and Reba, 5 kings of Midian. Balaam, also the son of Beor, they slew with the sword. And the children of Israel took all the women of Midian captives, and their little ones, and took the spoils of their cattle, and all their flock, and all their goods. And they burnt all the cities wherein they dwelt, and their goodly castles with fire. And they took all the spoil, and all the prey, both of men and of beasts.
Go ahead.
And they brought the captives and the prey and the spoil unto Moses and Eleazar the priest, and unto the congregation of the children of Israel, unto the camp at the plains of Moab, where are by Jordan near Jericho. And Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the princes of the congregation went forth to meet them without the camp.
Go ahead.
And Moses was wroth with the officers of hosts, with the captains over thousands, and the captains over hundreds, which came from battle.
Go ahead.
And Moses said unto them, have ye saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel throughout the council of Balaam to commit trespass against the Most High in the matter of Peor. And there was a plague among the congregation of the Most High.
So you see that? Like, isn't this crazy? Like, these same women that caused this plague to go through our nation, right? We went to war and destroyed their men and saved these same women that made us go astray alive.
Right.
Like it shows the mentality of our people. It shows, man, it shows that they were not thinking here. They were thinking straight off of lust again. You see what I'm saying? Thinking straight off of lust. There's no way. Like all of them, they probably should have died first. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But it shows, man, that right here we're not thinking.
Right.
Go ahead.
Now therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known man by lying with him.
Go ahead.
But all the women, children that have known not a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves.
So you see that? So now Moses laid down the law. The kids, the women kids, the women children that of course never been with a man, those you save. Go ahead.
And do ye abide without the camp 7 days. Whosoever hath killed any person, and whosoever hath touched any slain, purify both yourselves and your captives on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day. And purify all your raiment, and all that is made of skins, and all work of goat's hair, and all things made of wool.
Go ahead.
And Eleazar the priest said unto the men of war, which went to the battle, this is the ordinance of the law which the Most High commanded Moses. Only the gold and the silver, the brass, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that may abide the fire, you shall make it go through the fire, and it shall be clean. Nevertheless, it shall be purified with the water of separation. And all that abideth not the fire, you shall make go through the water. And you shall wash your clothes on the 7th day, and you shall be clean. And afterwards you shall come into the camp. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, take the sum of prey that was taken, both of man and of beast, thou and Eleazar the priest, and the chief fathers of the congregation, and divide the prey into 2 parts, between them that took the war upon them, who went out to battle, and between all the congregation.
Go ahead.
And levy a tribute unto the Most High of the men of war. Salah.
Verse 28.
Yeah, that's 28. Levy a tribute unto the Lord of the men of war, which went out to battle. 1 soul of 500, both the persons and of the beeves, and of the asses, and of the sheep. Take it to their half, and give it unto Eleazar the priest, for an heave offering of the Most High. And the children of Israel have half. Salah. And the children of Israel's half, thou shalt take 1 portion of 50, of the persons, of the heaves, of the asses, and of the flocks, all the manner of beasts, and give them unto the Levites, which keep the charge of the tabernacle of the Most High.
All right, next reader. Jeremiah, Sabbath Reading, Yehoda, Banyashar Allah, Men of Israel, Amadi, Barak.
Yahweh Shemiel Shai Baraktham.
Yahweh Shemiel Shai Baraktham.
Hello, Jeremiah.
verse, chapter 31, verse 31. And Moses and Eleazar the priest did as the Lord commanded Moses. And the booty, being the rest of the prey, which the men of war had caught, was 600,000 and 70,000 and 5,000 sheep. And 312,000 beeves, and 301,000 asses, and 32,000 persons in all, of women that had not known man by lying with him. And the half which was the portion of them that went out to war was in number 300,000 and 30,000 and 500 sheep.
A lot of sheep. Go ahead.
And the Lord's tribute of the sheep was 615. And the beeves were 36,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 312. And the asses were 30,500, of which the Lord's tribute was 301.
Yeah.
And the persons were 16,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 32 persons. And Moses gave the tribute which was the Lord's heave of offering unto Eleazar the priest, as the Lord commanded Moses. And of the children of Israel's half, which Moses divided from the men that warred.
That word, yeah.
Now the half that pertained unto the congregation was 300,000 and 30,000 and 7,000 and 500 sheep.
Wow.
And 36,000 beeves, and 30,000 asses, and 500 and 16,000 persons. Even of the children of Israel's half, Moses took one portion of 50, both of man and of beast, and gave them unto the Levites, which kept the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses.
You got a lot. You're reading chapter 32, verse 20. Yes, sir.
And the officers which were over thousands of the host, the captains of thousands and captains of hundreds, came near unto Moses. And they said unto Moses, Thy servants have taken the sum of the men of war which are numbered, which are under our charge, and there lacketh not one man of us.
Go ahead.
We have therefore brought an
Oblation.
for the Lord, what every man hath gotten of jewels, of gold, chains and bracelets, rings, earrings, and tablets, to make an atonement for our souls before the Lord.
You see that? So we brought a lot of different stuff. We brought a lot of different stuff, man. Jewels of gold, chains, bracelets, rings, earrings, tablets. Bruh. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like when you look at how the priests would look back in the day, when you look at how we would look back in the day, man. Again, one of my favorite words to use whenever we're reading the Old Testament, whenever we're reading these 5 books of Moses, the Torah, is a lot of this stuff, man, is you can't fathom it. You know what I'm saying? You can't even fathom it anymore. And you know, when you look at this, like, we brought jewels of gold and chains and bracelets and rings and earrings and tablets to make an atonement for our souls before the Lord, right? We brought it to them. It's almost like, damn, like, did we really? And I say it like that because whenever you see anything Christian, whenever you see anything Catholic, it's like, come on, man. Picture a Catholic priest wearing jewels of gold and chains and rings and bracelets. It's like, what? You can't even think of it. Think of a pastor doing that. Well, you can think of a pastor doing it.
Quite a few.
Think of a pastor doing it for sure. But you can't, like, back in the day, like the way they have back in the day. Whenever you see like Israel back in the day, it makes me sick because that's not how it looks.
Right.
Whenever you see like the white man show you how the Middle East looks, like, bruh, it's not how it looks.
Right.
Like, yeah, you're showing us a small portion of it. That's not how the whole place looks. Like when they show you like Africa, like it's just a desert.
Right.
Kids got flies around them. That's not all of Africa. Like it's crazy. It's crazy the way they do it, and then they put that in your mind, and that's how you think. Yeah. And when they do that, you psychologically think that America is just the best place on the damn planet.
Feed the children.
You literally think that, and you don't realize that there's better places.
Yeah.
It's funny, like I never would have known what a Dubai was if it wasn't for rappers. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, and I'm pretty sure I would have found out being in the truth. But these rappers, they like to go to Dubai now and do all this. So like they can't hide that Dubai is this beautiful place where the cops drive around in Lamborghinis. They can't hide that no more. They can't hide that no more, but they sure as hell were. They sure as hell were hiding it. And Dubai ain't the only place in the Middle East that's like that. You know what I'm saying? But you look at this, you read this, you can't even fathom it. That's the word. You can't fathom it because every time you see anything on TV as pertaining to the Bible, like, it's just like desert.
Yeah, they're dusty.
It's desert, dusty.
Ragged clothes,
like.
It's true.
You really feel like they're suffering. Mm-hmm. You know what's crazy? I was watching this documentary on Mesopotamia, and they showed like this little thing. It was like this little water jug, right, that they had. And they were showing how this water jug, it kept the water ice cold. That water that was in there was ice cold. Like it could keep ice and all that. Like this is way back in Mesopotamia. So,
I believe it.
And this time, come on, man, we had that. They had stuff like that.
Yeah.
But whenever you look, you're like, oh yeah, I guess you can't fathom what it was like. So you sit here and you read it, and it's still hard to fathom. It's hard to fathom like 300,000 sheep.
Yeah.
And that's just sheep. That's just sheep. Like it's hard to fathom that. But Esau has done a really good job.
Yeah.
Of the hypnosis that he's put, of the sleep that he's put our people under. That's why we can't fathom it. We can't think of it. That's why so many people, they don't want to leave the mentality and the mindset of America. They don't believe that there's something better.
Right.
Because Esau hasn't showed them anything else to make them feel like there is something better.
Right.
Everything you see on TV, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like we can't fathom the gold that they're talking about on here. Can't fathom it, you know. Read on.
And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of them, even all wrought jewels, and all of the gold of the offering that they offered up to the Lord, of the captains of thousands and of the captains of hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. For the men of war had taken spoil, every man for himself. And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of the captains of thousands and of hundreds, and brought it unto the tabernacle of the congregation for a memorial for the children of Israel before the Lord.
So now, like, just think about how I was reading 2 Kings, man. Towards the end of the chapter, it talked about this brother. I forgot his name, man. But to pay off one of these nations, he took the whole door of the tabernacle and gave it to the king. Like, here, just take this door. The door was pure gold. Like, who does that?
Right.
Like, the whole door was gold? The whole door was gold. The whole door.
And that was enough.
And that was enough to pay to let this king back off for a little bit.
Right.
Here, just take this door. Unscrew that. Give it to him.
Don't even get like the second half of the door. Just got like half the door.
It's crazy. We can't even fathom that. Can y'all fathom a golden door? You posted one?
Yeah.
A golden door? That sucker must be heavy as hell. You know, can't even fathom that, man. And how much that was worth. Like when he said, "Oh, he took all these and brought it to the tabernacle of the Lord," like that sucker was beautiful, man. You know, Thahuam last class was talking about how the Ark of the Covenant was as long as this table.
Yeah.
When you look at Esau, you would think that the Ark of the Covenant was half this table.
Yeah.
When you look at the pictures and everything that they show you, you would think it's half
tiny
this table. But he's like, this as long as this table. I was like, oh man, I didn't even think about that. Think of all that. Pure gold, heavy as hell. Heavy as hell. Like that tabernacle was ridiculous. It was ridiculously laid. All the times we would go to war and we would lose, and these nations would come in and rob the start taking gold off the tabernacle. But they couldn't take enough. They couldn't take all of it. They took what they could take and then dip. How much was in there? What was it like? You can't even fathom it, man. You can't even fathom it. That's why last Monday, you had this guy hop on and was like, "We're not slaves. You can get a job."
Yeah.
Like, bro, what are you talking about? Right. You're talking about we're not slaves.
Foolish.
I just read about a golden door.
Right.
In the tabernacle of the Lord. How many other golden doors did they have?
Time.
How big was this door? You know? So, you would think that Paris, France is a white city, but when you visit, you find just the opposite. Like, think about that. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So, you know, I'm saying all this to say, like, this life that we're living as Israelites, we have something to hope for. But when you read stuff like this, it's supposed to give you hope.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to look at our living conditions and look at the white man and look at these nations that surround us and be like, man. But then it shows you why. Again, it shows you why what we sacrifice, like what we're sacrificing, the white man has made it seem like it's a big deal.
Right.
He ain't sacrificing nothing. It's nothing compared to what you're gonna get.
Right.
Like, you're not just going to get the riches of earth, but it tells you that New Jerusalem, when that comes down, like, that is coming down too. So we don't just have the riches of the earth. We have New Jerusalem that's coming down. So the riches of earth is just going to be like,
Yeah.
It's going to be like, yeah, just throw that over there.
It's going to be dross.
Just put that in the garage. Like, I'm glad you mentioned that. Go to 2 Kings real quick. I'm glad you mentioned there's going to be draws. I want to show y'all something. This tripped me out right here. Or was it 1 Kings? It might have been 1 Kings. Might have been 1 Kings. Just on this point, I'm sorry, y'all. Go to 1 Kings chapter 10. Go to 1 Kings chapter 10 and verse 21. 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 21.
1 Kings chapter 10, verse 21.
And let me ask everybody a question real quick. Sisters, I'm not going to ask the brothers. I got to ask sisters. You know, you don't have to answer it, but I just want y'all to think about it, right? How much, before you came into the truth, if you were married, how much was your wedding ring worth? Before you came into the truth and your husband bought you a wedding ring or whatever, how much was it worth? How much is your silver worth right now, like that you have in your house? Like your earrings, your necklace, your ring. How much did you pay for that? I want y'all to literally think about it. Like these rappers, right? They'll pay they'll say they paid $100,000 for some VVS's in their mouth, right? The little grills. They'll pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for their chains, silver chains, right? Lil Uzi Vert paid $24 million to look like that guy off of Avengers. What's his name?
Vision.
Not yet. Lil Uzi Vert paid $24 million to look like him. Right?
Excuse my language.
Huh?
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Bro, you think I ain't gonna do that in the kick? No, I'm playing. I'm just playing. But I want y'all to think about how much these guys paid for silver. I want you to think about how they sold their soul so that they could rock all the ice and all the jewelry, all the chains, because none of them really were gold. None of them were gold. It's all like silver, right? Read 1 Kings 10 and 21.
1 Kings chapter 10, verse 21. And all King Solomon's drinking vessels were of gold.
So all your vessels that you drink, like, bruh, gold. This will be gold. Who here got paper plates in their house and paper cups? All that'll be gold.
You got plastic right now.
You got plastic. Throw it away when we done. You're not throwing away that gold. It says all his drinking vessels were of gold. Go ahead.
And all the vessels of the house of the forest of Lebanon were of gold.
What?
The house.
All the vessels in the house were of gold? Pure gold.
Pure gold.
That means that little wall mount that holds up your TV that you don't even see, even that'll be gold.
Yeah.
The little thing that your TV sits on, that's gold.
Cold, yeah.
Your bed that you sleep on is gold.
God.
Everything.
Yeah.
The fan, gold. The little thing that I pull to make the fan go is gold. The screws, gold.
Yeah.
Everything, gold. Gold.
Gold chairs. Gold stairs.
Yeah, be careful. Don't scratch my gold.
Take off shoes and come in the house.
Yeah.
Literally, right? Gold.
That's
Read.
gold.
None were of silver.
You see that? Nothing was of silver. Now I want y'all to think about the silver you own and how much you paid for that silver. Read.
It was nothing accounted of in the days of Solomon.
You see that? Silver was worth nothing in the days of Solomon. Nothing. Man, why you rocking that silver, bro? What you doing? Take that off. Put some gold on. It was nothing in the days of Solomon. We can't even fathom that.
Yeah, we can.
Who got gold on right now in here? Got one person. I sure don't.
I know.
Mine is white gold.
See,
Nice.
it's white gold.
I got silver on.
You got silver on? Nope. Nope. So we all have silver on. It said that is counted as nothing in the days of Solomon. It was nothing. That's not just for Solomon. That's everybody. Silver was nothing in those times. Go to... Man, there was another one in this chapter where it said that it was like stones outside. Go to... Oh yeah, go to verse 27. Yeah. Check this out.
Verse 27.
Uh-huh.
And the king made silver to be in Jerusalem as stones.
Silver was in Jerusalem as stones, y'all. Like you pick a stone up and hit somebody and throw it. Silver was as a stone, bro. You can't even fathom that. You can't fathom that. At all. Go ahead.
And cedars made he to be as the sycamore trees that are in the vale for abundance.
Now that part, I ain't gonna lie, I gotta research that to get a little bit more understanding on that. Like the cedar trees and all that. But the part that I wanted was the silver. Think about these rappers. All these rappers. But our people that sleep, that's what they chase. Trying to have the silver girls,
right?
The silver chains everywhere. But yeah, that's what you rock when you sell your soul for Esau. Mm-hmm. But in our kingdom, what you're rocking was worth nothing.
Right.
That was worth nothing onto us, man.
That's hard times.
Yeah, you in hard time. Damn, bro, you rocking some silver. What's going on?
You good, bro? You need some help?
You need prayer?
Yeah.
You know,
it's real.
It shows you, man, like how far we fell.
That's true.
How far we fell. It's unbelievable. Again, you can't fathom it. Let's go back to the reading. So when you read about the tabernacle having so much gold, it's like, golly. Now we understand why when we fell, the nations got rich. This whole earth got rich.
That's facts.
How you walk through Jerusalem and the stones that you see is silver?
Right.
Imagine how beautiful Jerusalem was. Gold everywhere. Gold, houses having gold everywhere. Houses just shining. That means that your street, when you walked outside, all this silver that was everywhere was just glistening in the sun.
That's right.
The place was just bright and beautiful.
Yeah.
You had cedar trees. Look at these trash trees that we have in America. I'm not going to call them trash trees. The Most High did create them, but all of America is the same trees that just let out the same pollen, make you sneeze. We had cedar trees everywhere, huge trees. It's, man, bro, it's crazy. William?
I was going to say, cedar is an expensive wood because it's like a natural insect repellent. That's what they use to make closets out of.
You see that? So the cedar, which the tabernacle was made out of cedar too, if I'm not mistaken. And you said it's a natural insect repellent. So think about your houses. You never have a bug inside of your house. Well, the scripture does say that spiders is in all houses, even king's houses, right? But think about, like, especially here in Texas, you don't got to worry about them flies that fly around at night coming in your house. Little roaches, small roaches, big roaches, whatever coming in your house. You don't have to worry about none of that. Man, it's crazy, man. So y'all got to see, like, this is what we push for. This is a part of the faith. This is a part of the faith. All this, I'm going to get to you, all this, it's just an icing on the cake, for me at least. Right. It's an icing on the cake when I read that we're going to have all this gold and all this. Like, that truly is important to me. You know, that's icing on the cake. The fact that we won't have to work for Esau, the fact that the curses will be off of us, and we can live in unity amongst our nation, amongst our people. Everything is going to be in order. That's what I want. Screw the jewelry. Screw the gold. Screw all that. I want my people to not suffer anymore. I want us to not suffer. I want kids to grow up and not have to worry about where their meal is going to come from.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I want our kids to be able to grow up and not have to worry about homosexuality.
Right.
I want our kids to grow up and not have to worry about
predators
and
bad influences
and drugs. The things that we have to battle. Yeah. The things that we had to fight, to rip off of us. When we found the truth. I want our kids to not have to worry about that, man. They can be kids. You know what I'm saying? I want my daughters to grow up and not have to listen to a Megan Thee Stallion and a Cardi B. That's what I fight for. I want my people to be at peace. I don't necessarily fight to see Esau in chains. That's icing on the top. On the top. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Would I love it? Absolutely. Do I want it? Absolutely. Do I want the riches and all that? Absolutely. But it's nothing to be compared of, like, for our homes to be at peace. For us to be at peace mentally, spiritually. For us to not have to wake up and your body hurts. You gotta go work. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. That's what we fighting for, man. And everything else is just icing on top. That's the cake that I want. Everything else is just icing, sprinkles. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, let's. You got your hand up?
Yes, sir.
What's up?
Yeah, you brought up the pollen and all that.
Yeah.
You have to do a little bit of reading on it. I've been doing some reading on it, and pollen is actually the male tree sperm. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's the reason why we don't have any trees growing is because during the 1950s they cut the majority of the female trees down.
Yeah. So
that created an abundance of male trees, and so the pollen flies out, was shooting out to go after the female trees, which is we don't have any. So that's why we have a real bad of allergies and stuff like that, because it's the males. That's the pollen flying around. So
wow, that makes a lot of sense.
When I was reading, it says pollinization is the act of transferring pollen grains from the male, another of a flower to a female stigma.
Yeah.
So they're actually going around trying to get the female trees to reproduce, but they can't reproduce. So that's why we have so much bad allergies. So what they did in the 1950s, they knew what they were doing in the 50s. They'll cut down all the female trees.
Yeah.
So it's great stuff, you know.
Why? Bro, I mean, it makes sense. Bro, nothing he saw that makes sense.
Right. Who can truly know a madman?
But you know what's funny is, whenever we deliver in Sugar Land and stuff like that, these Edomite neighborhoods, I sneeze like crazy.
Yeah, he does.
So it's funny, like, they did all that, pollen to be everywhere and us to breathe it in, and now our allergies is messed up. You can't stop sneezing. You go to the store, you buy their Zyrtec.
Yeah.
You buy all this stuff, the nasal sprays for your pollen. They can make money off of it now, right? But
Very expensive.
and it's extremely expensive. And they know every year they're going to be able to get that, right?
Right.
But this is the cold part. We're Israelites. Eventually, our bodies become immune.
Yeah.
Eventually, our bodies get stronger. Y'all don't.
Yeah.
So when I be driving through Sugar Land, but it's the cold part. I drive through Sugar Land, the Edomite areas, and it seems like they have way more pollen than we do here.
Yeah.
So I'll go there and I can't stop sneezing.
Wow.
And I'm like, damn. So y'all pay all this money for all these nice houses, and y'all can't stop sneezing.
See, it says right here again, it says pollination is important because it leads to the reproduction of fruits we can eat and seeds that will create more plants. So that's what it is. So we're sniffing in all this stuff, but they don't have trees to go to, other female trees to go to. So it lingers around, and we're sucking it all in.
All right. Hey, who can figure out the things that you saw?
All right.
Jeremiah?
It's funny when you said that the Israelites are bodies like strong, and the Edomites they don't, because like in most of the movies, it's usually the Edomites are like really sick and they have inhalers and stuff.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, if y'all can remember, I couldn't be around that. I couldn't be around the frankincense and myrrh. My nose would go crazy, sneezing, all that. Wow. Right?
That's true.
But hey, my body's good now. I don't have to. I can breathe that in all day. Not even a not even a cough. Not even a sneeze, man. So yeah, man. Let's jump back to the reading though. Numbers chapter 32. Where are you at? Numbers chapter 32, right? All right, go ahead.
Numbers chapter 32, verse 1. Now the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had a very great multitude of cattle, and when they saw the land of Jazer and the land of
Gilead.
That behold, the place was a place for cattle. The children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spoke unto Moses and Eleazar the priest, and unto the princes of the congregation, saying, Torah, and Dibon, and Jezer, and Nimrod, and Heshbon, and Eliah, and Sheban, and Nebo, and Beon, even the country which the Lord smote before the congregation of Israel, is a land for cattle, and thy servants have cattle. Wherefore, said they, if we have found grace in thy sight, let this land be given unto thy servants for a possession, and bring us not over Jordan.
You see that? Now this right here is a very cold story. And this story relates big time to us right now in Israel. Big time. And I'm gonna show you how. So you have us, right? We're wandering through the wilderness. We're trying to get to our land. We're trying to get to our inheritance, right? Our blessing. Now you had Reuben and Gad that had a great multitude of cattle. This is before we really came to our land. And they're like, hey, listen, this land is perfect for our cattle. It's perfect for what we got. Can we just stay here?
Right.
Let us just have this land. This is the land that we want. Let us just stay here because it's perfect. We have a lot of cattle. We have an abundance of cattle. This land is perfect for them. You see what I'm saying? So that's what they came and asked Moses for. Now I'm going to show y'all how this relates to us today. Go ahead.
Verse 6.
Uh-huh.
Numbers chapter 32, verse 6. And Moses said unto the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, shall your brethren go to war, and shall ye sit here?
Ooh, read that again.
Shall your brethren go to war, and shall ye sit here?
You see that? That's Moses asking them a question. Okay, all right, cool, fine, Daddy. So you got what you want. You finally came to your land, huh? Right? You got all the cattle, you got everything that you want. So you just gonna let your brothers go to war, and you just sit here and not do nothing? Do y'all see that? Read on. I'll show you. Go ahead.
And wherefore discourage ye the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which the Lord hath given them. So
check this out. So they're like, okay, we want here. We don't necessarily want Israel. This is perfect for us right here. Right? Moses is like, so you're going to discourage the rest of the children of Israel from going over. First of all, you're not going to go with them to help them get theirs, because you have yours here, right? So you're not going to go over to help them get theirs, which the Lord gave them. Right. You see that? Because you already have yours here. Read on.
Thus did your fathers when I sent them from Kadesh, burning to see the land. For when they went up unto the valley of S.O.W. and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the children of Israel, that they should not go into the land which the Lord had given them. And the Lord's anger was kindled the same time, and he sware, saying, surely none of the men that came up out of Egypt from 20 years old and upward shall see the land which I swear unto Abraham,
go ahead,
unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, because they have not wholly followed me, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh, right?
Yep.
The
Kenizzite,
and Joshua the son of Nun, for they have wholly followed the Lord. And the Lord's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until all the generation that had done evil in the sight of the Lord was consumed. And behold, ye are risen up in your father's stead, an increase of sinful men to augment, yet the fierce anger of the Lord toward Israel.
And you know why this is another point that I'm going to make in this. And the Bible does this a lot. When you're paying attention to it, it shows it. Like they'll go to Moses, right? And Moses will be like, Moses will give this whole spiel about what happened, right? And he'll literally just go back and mention all these things that the Lord did. You know why that happens? Because as Israelites, we always forget. We always forget. So it's like we'll go up and we forget like everything. We forget everything. So it's like Moses got to go and give the whole spiel. The Lord's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years. They should have been like, yeah, I know, we were here. We know all this. So why does Moses have to repeat it to them?
Right.
Because the way our people is, we forget everything. We don't consider, we don't think about. So it's like a lot of times it's showing you how we got to deal when a loved one or a brother or a sister is getting faithless. You got to put them back in remembrance. Like, you remember this? You remember that? You remember when the Lord was here for you here? You remember how you felt with this? You remember how you felt with that? You got to put them back in remembrance. You got to jog their memory. Why? Because they're consumed with whatever is going on right now. Right. It's like an individual that wants to commit suicide. Individual want to commit suicide. It's like you got to show them reasons, like why not to do this. Right. You see what I'm saying? It's dope because it's showing you how we're supposed to move whenever it is that we're dealing with anything that we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You got to stop, take a second, think, recollect, think about the past. Think about what's going to happen. Think about what's going to happen when you do this. Think about what's going to happen when you don't do this. Think about what the future is going to hold. You see what I'm saying? Think about when you did this before and what happened when you did this before. You got to stop and think. So Moses is going over this, just showing like you forget what happened last time this happened. You see what I'm saying? So just showing you, man, our people we're very forgetful. Go, Jeremiah, where'd you go? Oh, yeah, go ahead. Oh, he's back. He's coming back. But I didn't even notice that you left. Hop back up. Hop back up, Broski. You got what, like 6 more verses?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You were at verse 15.
Numbers chapter 30, verse 15. For ye turn away from after him, he will yet again leave them in the wilderness, and ye shall destroy all his people. And they came near unto him and said, We will build sheepfolds for our cattle, and cities for our little ones. But we ourselves will go ready armed before the children of Israel until ye have brought them unto their place.
Go ahead.
And our little ones shall dwell in the fenced cities because of the inhabitants of the land.
You see that? Go ahead.
We will not return unto our houses.
Read verse 18 again.
We will not return unto our houses.
Go ahead.
Until the children of Israel have inherited, every man his inheritance.
Y'all see that? That is a very important scripture in today's time. And I'm going to show you why. Because, and I think, I talked to you about this before, right? Yeah. I'm going to show you why this is very important. So you have Reuben and Gad. It's pretty much like they already came to their inheritance. Right? They found the land that they were in. They were like, man, this is perfect for cattle. This is everything that we want. Let us just have this one right here. You see what I'm saying? They go to Moses. They're like, hey, Moses, we want this land right here. So Moses in verse 6 is like, and Moses said unto the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, shall your brethren go to war and shall ye sit here? So it's like, damn. So this is perfect for you right here, right? So you're just going to sit here and let your brothers go to war to get theirs. La-ah. You see what I'm saying? La-ah. So now when you read back in verse 18, it says, we will not return. This is Gad and Reuben speaking. They said, we will not return unto our houses until the children of Israel have inherited every man his inheritance. Why is that important today? Well, it's important today because guess what? A lot of us, we came into the truth and we weren't homeless. A lot of us, we came into the truth and we weren't lacking certain things. We had certain things when we came into the truth, some of us.
Right.
We had families. We had good jobs. We had houses. We had cars. We had what we wanted in America. We made it in America. We had degrees. You see what I'm saying? But guess what? Your nation hasn't. Your nation hasn't. You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
So, with that being said, you got to look at verse 18 for real. It says, we will not return unto our houses, because what is your house? Your house is your comfort. You see what I'm saying? Yep. We will not return unto our houses until the children of Israel have inherited every man his inheritance. So you can't say, like, man, I got it good. I'm good. What about your nation? Your nation isn't good. I could easily, you know what's funny? What's funny is I easily could have had a nice house, nice cars before I came into the truth. because I had a good job at the age of 21. I was making decent money at the age of 21. I was still in school while making decent money to make more decent money, right? And I could have achieved all that if I wanted to. All that. Could have had the nice house, nice cars. But what does it matter if I have all this, but all my friends are in jail? All my friends got felonies. The same people I went to school with, jail, felonies, baby daddies, child support. They're drug addicts. They're suffering. You see what I'm saying? So when I came into the truth, and I found the truth, I was like, damn, I'm good. I'm gonna give you another example. I'm from Jamaica. I'm from Kingston, Jamaica, right? I grew up in a shack, one-room shack. My mattress was underneath my parents' bed. Inside of this one-room shack, I was telling them, I had a little small stove, a little small refrigerator, one just small dresser, and one TV, and the bed. My parents slept on the bed. I would go and pull my mattress out from underneath the bed. My parents had a full-size bed. I would go and pull my pissy mattress from under the bed, the same pissy mattress that I had since I was a child, right? That was like a twin-size mattress, and that's where I slept, right? That's where I slept. No bathroom inside the house. Women, if you had to pee, guess what? You didn't just go outside and pee. You had they call it a little chimney. You'll pull that out and pee in there. Your daughters, your sons, they'll pull that out, put pee in there. So that's what I came from. Now, you'll be like, damn, what the hell? Now, I'll tell you straight up, there's a lot of people and there's a lot of kids in Jamaica that came from worse. I was lucky. I had a TV. A lot of them didn't. Y'all be wondering why I don't be knowing movies and stuff. Y'all wonder why I watched Lion King one time. I couldn't. I couldn't. So I came from my mom having to hand wash all of our clothes every day, and hanging them up on the clotheslines and sharing the clothesline with everybody else that lived in the yard. And everybody in the yard, 6 families using one toilet, using one shower, right? I came from that. So now being in America and having an opportunity to have certain things, it's very easy for me to be like, I'm good, right? Because that's what every Jamaican wants. That's what everybody from a third world country wants. What we have here. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy. But what about everybody else? What about the rest of the kids that, I know kids that couldn't go to school. In Jamaica, you got to pay for school. You got to pay for your books. You got to pay for your uniforms. There's a lot of kids that can't pay for that in Jamaica. So a lot of kids grow up, can't read. They don't know how to read. Because they never been to school. Ever. A lot of kids, they don't have no shoes. They walk around barefooted. You hear Patazal talk about walking around barefooted. That's real. You walked around barefoot because you ain't had no damn shoes. A lot of kids, you wore the same clothes all the time. You might have had 2 or 3 change of clothes. My grandma still to this day in Jamaica feeds kids with bread and butter and tea. And that's what they eat. She takes 2 slices of bread, cuts it in half, gives it to the kids, that's all she got to give to them. And all these kids eat that. I'm talking about 15 kids. That's back home. Now, it's very easy for me to be like, oh yeah, I made it, I'm good. I'm one of the few. I'm one of the 10% that'll make it out, right? Very easy. But what about everybody else? What about the rest of our people that suffer? So now when you look at yourself being an Israelite, yes, a lot of us come into the truth and we got money. You have decent jobs. You have a house. You have a rib. You have kids. You have these things. But guess what? Your nation doesn't. Your nation doesn't. So what are you going to do? Verse 6? You just going to sit on your ass and let them suffer? Or are you going to do verse 18? We will not return unto our houses until the children of Israel have inherited every man his inheritance. I ain't going to lie to y'all. That's one of the biggest things that drive me. Like I was saying earlier, I don't care about the gold. I don't care about the riches. I don't care about Esau being a slave. I don't care about none of that. I would like for my people to not have to work, not have to live the way they're living. I've seen it. I grew up in it. And I was good compared to others. You see what I'm saying? I was good compared to others, man. Imagine you're a little 15, 16-year-old girl and you don't have nothing. You only got like 2 changes of clothes, 2 or 3 changes of clothes, and you're pregnant. And now you're pregnant. And your man just got shot. He's dead in Jamaica. How you gonna take care of this kid? Well, that's one of my cousins in Jamaica. Her name is Avril. That's one of my cousins in Jamaica. That's real. She's older now, of course, but how the hell? And then her mentality is so trash that she likes to go party every time. Y'all seen Jamaican parties. How is she gonna take care of that kid? But see, the same thing goes on here in America. The same thing. So, we're not at our inheritance. Just like Reuben and Gad, they weren't technically in the land. They weren't in Israel. They weren't at their inheritance. But where they were at, they liked where they were at. Everything that they had was good. The land that they were at was good for where they were at. So it's like they wanted to sit and chill. Not gonna say they wanted to sit and chill, but they wanted that land. So Moses is like, so you just gonna get yours, but what about everybody else? What about everybody else? They gotta go fight for theirs. You see what I'm saying? So verse 18, they're like, no, we're not. When you read verse 17 and verse 16 and 17, it said we're gonna build our sheepfolds here for our cattle and cities for our little ones. So guess what? Our wives, our kids, the cattle that we got, they could stay and enjoy and enjoy this, whatever. But we're gonna go with with the rest of the children of Israel. You could read about that in Joshua. We're gonna go with the rest of our brothers and go and fight until they have their inheritance too. You see what I'm saying? A lot of us, we're gonna come into the truth and we didn't have nothing. We're gonna come into the truth homeless, poor, not having anything, and the Most High is gonna build you up. Now, when the Most High builds you up, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna be like, oh, I'm good. Screw the work, screw my nation? Or are you gonna keep chugging like, okay, I'm good. This house that I got, it's for brothers. It's for anybody that needs a house. This food that I got now, it's for anybody that needs food. This car that I got is for anybody that needs a ride. Is that the mentality, or is the mentality to sit on your ass, like verse 6, like that, and Reuben? Or is your mentality like, nah, we gonna fight so everybody has their inheritance? Right. It's 2 different mentalities, and that's why I say this chapter, it sings and resonates today. You see what I'm saying? So let's read on.
Numbers chapter 32, verse 19. For we will not inherit with them on yonder side Jordan or forward, because our inheritance is fallen to us on this side Jordan eastward. And Moses said unto them, if ye will do this thing, if ye will go armed war.
All right, let's get measured. Benaiah Shabbat Shal Yahawada Ban Yasha'ala Min Avizra Amadi. Alright.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabrak Thumb.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabrak Thumb. Alright. Come on up, Benaiah. Now, check out what we're about to read. Very important what we're about to read, too. But this is facts. Read on.
Numbers chapter 32, verse 21. And will go all of you armed over Jordan before the Lord, until he hath driven out his enemies from before him, and the land be subdued before the Lord. Then afterward ye shall return and be guiltless before the Lord and before Israel. And this land shall be your possession before the Lord.
So it's saying, Most High, Moses speaking to Reuben and Gad, he's letting them know, listen, you do what you said you're going to do. Remember, we were just reading about vows, right? They vowed pretty much, we won't return unto our land, unto our houses, until the children of Israel got their inheritance. So Moses is saying, if you'll do this thing, then guess what? Verse 22. You shall return unto your place, right? And you'll be guiltless before the Lord. But not only before the Lord, but before Israel, before your nation. You see that? So you're guiltless before the Lord and before your nation. Right? Why? Because the Lord ain't the only one that sees it. Your nation sees it too. You see what I'm saying? Read on.
Verse 23. But if ye will not do so,
go ahead.
Behold. But if you will not do so, behold, ye have sinned against the Lord, and be sure your sin will find you out.
You see that? If you won't do that, you sin, man. And guess what? Your sin will find you out. So what does that mean? Your sin is going to find you out. It's like, for example, whatever you do in the dark shall come to the light, right? So you could be doing something on the low, right? Now, if you're doing something on the low, it might not necessarily just come out like, hey, what's something I can say? Like, say you smoking weed on the low. You might never get caught smoking weed, right? But guess what? You'll be in turmoil. There'll be a plague on you. There'll be something going on with you where somebody can be like, damn, what are you doing? Why is the Most High touching you? You see what I'm saying? Well, you could be getting touched because, well, you know damn well why you're getting touched. You see what I'm saying? Now, it's the same thing when it says, if you will not do so, so if you won't go over and fight for your people, behold, you have sinned against the Lord. You sin against the Lord. And be sure your sin will find you out. So guess what? You can sit at home, but you finna catch it. You finna catch it. You don't want to help your nation? Well, guess what? You finna catch it. So you sin against that sin that you're doing by not going to help. Most High is going to show you that he's not pleased with you. That sin is going to reign. That plague now that the Most High is going to put on you, it's going to reign in your house. So that land, it's very simple. Reuben and Gad, they had two choices. They could either stay at home, sit their ass at home and do nothing, don't help their people, and they're going to catch these plagues. When it says the sin going to find you out, you can sit at this land, the same land that you're like is good for your cattle and good for everything. Guess what? Now this land ain't going to be good for your cattle and good for everything. That sin is going to find you out. That sin is going to reveal you to everybody. It's going to reveal that you're a selfish individual to everybody. You see that? The Most High won't bless. You got your hand up?
I was going to say, you can also go to 21. It said the Lord, the second precept said, until he had driven out his enemies from before him. So these are the Lord's enemies also. So
yeah.
You got to see that. We're fighting for the Lord. That's all I wanted to bring out.
Nah, extremely good point. Extremely good point, because we read all the time in Psalms. Who's going to rise up for me against the evildoers?
Right.
So, by us doing what we're doing right now as Israelites, you got to see, man, one, you do it for your brother and your sister. That's why you're fighting. But you're also fighting for the Lord. Why? Because you are my battle axes and you are my weapons of war. So, the Most High uses you to go to war against the enemy. So, if you choose not to do it, then because you're comfortable here in America, because you already have your inheritance, you already have your family, your cars, your clothes, your house, your money, your job, all that. You choose not to help your nation obtain theirs too, then Scripture says that's a sin against the Most High. You see what I'm saying? And Most High is going to reveal. He's going to reveal that to everybody. So, go ahead.
Verse 24.
Uh-huh.
Build you cities for your little ones,
Uh-huh.
and folds for your sheep, and do that which hath proceeded out of your mouth.
Go ahead.
And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben spake unto Moses, saying, Thy servants will do as my Lord commanded. Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all our cattle shall be there in the cities of Gilead.
Uh-huh.
But thy servants will pass over, every man armed for war, before the Lord to battle, as my Lord said.
You see that? So everybody, the wives and the kids and the flocks and the herds, all that can stay. But we're going to war. We're going to fight for our brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
So concerning them, Moses commanded Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun, and the chief fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel. And Moses said unto them, If the children of Gad and the children of Reuben will pass with you over Jordan, every man armed to battle before the Lord, and the land shall be subdued before you. Then ye shall give them the land of Gilead for a possession. But if they will not pass over with you armed, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, As the Lord hath said unto thy servants, so will we do.
Uh-huh.
Verse 32. We will pass over armed before the Lord into the land of Canaan, that the possession of our inheritance on this side Jordan may be ours. And Moses gave unto them, even to the children of Gad, and to the children of Reuben, and unto half the tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sion, king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, the land with the cities thereof in the coast, even the cities of the country round about. And the children of Gad built Dibon and Ataroth and
Aroer. Yeah.
And Ataroth, Shaphan, and Jazer, and Jogbehah, and Beth Nimrah, and Beth Haran fenced cities, and folds for sheep.
Go ahead.
And the children of Reuben built Heshbon and Elealeh and Kirjathaim.
Where you at?
Verse 37.
Verse 37. Kirjathaim.
And Nebo and Baal-Meon, their names being changed, and Shibma, and gave other names unto the cities which they builded.
Yeah.
And the children of Machir, the son of Manasseh, went to Gilead and took it, and disposed the Amorites which was in it. And Moses gave Gilead unto Machir, the son of Manasseh, and he dwelt therein. And Jair, the son of Manasseh, went and took the small towns thereof, and called them Havoth Jahir. And Noban went and took Peninnah and the villages thereof, and called it Noba, after his own name.
Con. So when it jumps to chapter 33. And let me say this too, man. The little story I told about Jamaica, right? And coming up in Jamaica. I want y'all to see something, because we live here in America right now. And I'm not, by no means am I like trying to say like America's just like this great place. And whatever, compared to like the rest of the places. But that little instance that I shared, I gotta see. Jamaica's a third world country, and that's just one country. That's just one tribe. That's just Benjamin, right? Trinidad, same thing. Barbados, it's the same thing. You go to and those are just Benjamin areas. When you go to Haiti, Levi, it's the same thing. They live the same way, if not worse. You go to Cuba, it's the same thing. Go to Dominican Republic, it's the same thing. Venezuela, same thing. When you go all throughout South America, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Why am I saying all that? Well, I'm saying all that just to share, man. You got 12 tribes of Israel. The majority of us live like this. The majority of us is living in these conditions. So, if you're lucky enough to have it at a certain level here in America, you can't forget that the majority of your people is living like they're not living. And don't get me wrong, even in America now, we're still not living. You know what I'm saying? But they're not living at all. You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
Like the things that we take for granted, like hot water, the fact that you can bathe in hot water. I wouldn't bathe in hot water in Jamaica. I barely bathe in hot water now. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. My water is like room temperature when I take a shower. But imagine how do y'all feel when y'all ain't no hot water? There ain't no hot water. This water ain't hot enough. Well, 90% of the tribes don't have hot water. Just letting y'all know. How many of y'all ever had to hand wash all your clothes? And your husband's clothes and your kids' clothes? One sister. Well, 90% of the tribes have to hand wash all their clothes. You see what I'm saying? 90%.
So true.
You got to see, like 80 to 90% of the tribes, they got to pay for their kids to go to school. They got to pay for the uniforms, pay for the books. Ain't no jobs in these places like that. Well, however much you getting paid, like these places, like, you know, it's funny. You'll watch certain things and you'll see, like, oh yeah, they make like the equivalent of $1 or $2 an hour here in America. You're like, how the hell do you survive off of that? Well, guess what? They do. They find a way. That's real. When I went to listen, in Jamaica, when I went to go buy food, in America, you can buy a whole tray of eggs. When I went to buy food in Jamaica, I bought 1 egg or 2 eggs. Well, it was 3 of us, so I would buy like 3 eggs. Y'all see what I'm saying? I wouldn't buy no tray of eggs. I went to the little shop. Mom gave me a list, gave me some money. I went to that shop. Yeah, can I have 3 eggs? Not 3 cartons of eggs, 3 eggs. Yeah, can I have 3 eggs for breakfast? Can I have 3 eggs? Can I have 3 francs? Can I have a quarter bread? Why? Because you didn't buy a whole loaf of bread. That bread, you went to that store, you cut that bread in a quarter. You was like, let me get a quarter bread, half a bread, 3/4 of a bread. And that's how you bought your bread. And they wrapped it up, gave it to you. So when I first started reading the truth about a false weight, a false balance was an abomination to the Most High.
11-1.
I wasn't thinking spiritually. I was thinking like literally by the balance. Because guess what? When you went to go buy your food, like your meat, you was buying that literally by the pound. So like, yeah, let me get a half a pound of chicken. Well, they put it there and they weighed it and you saw the scale. They were like, yeah, half a pound, here you go. You went and you bought your sugar. You think sugar came in a box? Let me get like half a pound of sugar. Let me get this much sugar. They weighed it, gave it to you. Your salt. I think the salt did come in a box. Certain spices did. But a lot of stuff was weighed. A lot of stuff was weighed, man. So, I'm just sharing that to show like the majority of us live like that. The majority. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no, like, coming here now, it's like, damn, you buy a whole carton of eggs? You could have bought it back then, but that was so much money. That was like, nah, we ain't buying no. Like, you could buy a bag of rice. If you went to Jamaica, it was like, yeah, let me get half a pound. Let me get a quarter pound of rice. And they poured that sucker into the weight thing, weighed it. It was like, yeah, it's a quarter. Here you go. So when I was thinking about a false weight, and I know it means both ways. I was thinking like they manipulated that thing and was selling it. Because I look at that now and I'm like, man, I bet they were doing that in Jamaica too, manipulating the weights.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm just mentioning all that because it's not just Jamaica, it's all the tribes. The only reason it's not like that here in America is because America is a little bit more advanced. And the white man tries to make himself look so damn good that if he was to make y'all live like that in America, when he runs America, you will just be able to see, like, it'll be too obvious that this dude is the devil.
Right.
But because he's not predominantly in these third world countries, he can make us live like that. So people live like that, y'all. Just sharing that. Sis?
I remember I went to my sister and I for a just like a missionary. And we actually went into the villages and we saw a lot of that. And the people there where we were, I think I don't know who was with them, but they knew community. They were very in tune with the Lord of the Most High.
Yeah.
Very, very loving and things like that. You see that and you know that it's not fake. You know,
Yeah.
they didn't waste anything. The children were, you can't describe the children. They were just so loving.
Yeah.
And things like that and appreciative. And one thing that they wanted to get was like candy. But candy to us was like the really, really sweet stuff. But for them it wasn't that sweet. They didn't like a lot of sweet stuff. But when we got all together, the people who were on the missionary trip, we were like really wish that, everyone, when we come up from back home, can go and experience that, because even though the people there didn't have as much as we had, they were just so loving and so appreciative, and they knew about community. And here we don't even know our neighbors half the time.
Yeah.
Or we'll have something, we'll have an abundance of something, and we're not willing to share that or just give it away to somebody else.
Yeah.
So it was just things like that. You experience that, you witness it yourself. It makes you, think in a mindset like, we have so much more than we can even ever use.
God.
So it's like, we're really gluttonous in a way.
Hell yeah,
It's
we're very
we
gluttonous
don't
here.
really need all that we have.
God.
So,
Like, y'all think we have food pantries in Jamaica? We got no food pantry. But I love what you're bringing out, and that's just the balance of the Most High, y'all. It's the balance. That's something that I realized too. Like, yeah, we didn't have nothing in Jamaica, but what we had was community. Like she said, we had each other. That's why I always say, like, little kids just go outside and play. They don't gotta ask their parents to. Like, you was there. You think they asked to go outside to go play?
kids stayed out all the time. It was very, very dark.
Yeah, they'll just be out.
It was very dark.
Ask to go outside.
Oh my gosh. But, the kids would just go, they wanted to give more to you, really.
Yeah.
The people that wanted to give more to you than they were willing to accept.
Yeah.
But the kids were everywhere.
Yeah.
They were everywhere.
It's a different vibe, y'all. Like, America has killed that. America has killed that community, like brotherhood, sisterhood spirit between our people. We don't have that. Like you said, we don't even know our neighbors. I damn sure don't know my neighbors. You know what I'm saying? My neighbors don't even wave at me. It's real. They don't even wave at me. I'm like, I'm cool with that. You Asians and Arabs, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. You don't have to wave at me. But, back in a place like Jamaica, like, everybody knew everybody. We didn't have nothing, but we all knew each other, and that was the balance. Here, you trade all that to have stuff. So you come here, and it's like, it's just a different vibe, man. It's a different life. Riches is whatever is rich to you.
Right.
Whatever is rich to you, that's what is going to be rich to you. But, being here now, I'm not going to lie to you. I would have rather, if it wasn't for the truth, I would have rather just stay in Jamaica and grow up in Jamaica and live in a shack. Because it's easier and it's less, believe it or not, it's less stressful. I don't have to work in Jamaica if I don't want to. We stole electricity. We stole cable. We stole everything. We found a way. You will see a guy climbing up the light pole. A foreigner will be like, what the hell are you doing? Back home, you already knew what he was doing. I got to get some light from my house. You know, with a long extension cord that sucker ran all the way to your house. You know what I'm saying? We made stuff happen, man. But that's what's not here in America anymore. Everybody is about themselves. And that's what the Most High is trying to put back into our people, is that sense of community. That's why Jamaica was so violent too, because of the communities. Imagine, like, we're about the same age. Imagine me and him, we're the same age. We grew up together. Now we're 30. We still Like, we've been knowing each other for 30 years. And it's like that with a lot of kids. Like, all the kids grow up, they're born at the same time, they all grow up together, 20, 30 years, 40 years. So when somebody kills him from another community, it's war. That's just how it is. It's war. Like, you killed my friend. That's not just my friend, it's my brother. It's war. It's war. So communities warred against communities. Or even in communities, the south, the bottom side of the community will war against the north side of the community because everybody in the south knew, and that was just how it is. So somebody butt heads, somebody from the north side kills somebody from the south side, and I'm talking about like communities weren't as big as, they're like apartment sizes or neighborhood sizes. You know what I'm saying? Not cities. So it was just war. It became war, and that's where like a lot of the violence came from, because you were so close to an individual that somebody took him from you. It's war. I'm gonna make you feel how I felt, which is not right. But I'm gonna have to take one of yours, right. And they end up feeling the same way, and then it's a non-stop thing.
It's that hamster wheel.
It's that hamster wheel.
That cycle of revenge.
So yeah, but let's get back to the reading. Let's get back to the reading. It's about to be 1 o'clock. About to pull a Patazab. Not trying to. Or a thigh wall. Go ahead, Benaiah.
Numbers chapter 33, verse 1. These are the journeys of the children of Israel, which went forth out of the land of Egypt